All righty, bow hunters, welcome back to another episode. I'm sitting here online with Mr. Brian Anderson. Welcome, my friend. It's good to have you here.
Thanks, Matty. Thanks for having me.
Mate, you're more welcome. It was so I took me and my wife went out for a hunt for her first hunt at the start of January this year. James took us out to one of the blocks that he hunts at. There was just literally, I found out later, a few ridges from your home and
Yeah,
very close to some of the land that you get to hunt on as well. And so she shot her very first deer, which is really cool, and had a great cape on it. And she said, "Look, I think I want to get a rug." So we brought it into you, and I was madly calling you as soon as I got into reception. I'm like, "Brian, can you help me out? I've got this deer rug that needs to be frozen or something right now because we literally caped it and came straight to you pretty much." So yeah, and so that was amazing. But what was really cool was actually just seeing your operation, seeing everything you have in there, seeing the client's room of all the things that they have, but then B, seeing the amount of stuff that you've hunted and taxidermied yourself. Like that was actually really cool just to see how many species you had knocked over. And I think it's also awesome that you've got a room for your stuff. I just think that's awesome.
yeah. It's not big enough, eh? It's a bit crowded.
It definitely is not. I often have that conversation in general. I'm like, where am I? Like A, with myself, but B, with my wife. I'm like, where am I meant to put all this stuff? Like as I keep
Yeah,
hunting, I plan on getting more and starting to do my own, like getting taxidermy done and stuff like that. But where do you put it?
yeah. Well, I've got a really tolerant wife, so
Yeah.
back in the day, like when I only just had a few heads, I kind of like spread them around the house a bit, have some in this room and some in that room, and
Yeah.
she was pretty tolerant of that. But now that I've got probably, I haven't counted them, but I've probably got close to 90 or 100 heads
I
of
was
my
gonna say
own
there's a lot
taxidermy.
there. Yeah.
Can't put 100 heads in the house, eh? So you've got to build a special room for them. So
Definitely. Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah,
this room that I'm in right now, this is my office that we've converted from a garage. So right now I've got like heaps of wall space, but we're thinking about putting a bathroom at the end of it. So I'm like, once it's made into a main bedroom, it's no longer going to be used for heads. But for right now, maybe I can get away with it. Maybe it's worthwhile just doubling down while I can.
that's it, mate. Get into it, eh? The more people get taxidermy, the better.
Yeah, I mean, that was the interesting thing we were just talking about before we started. I kind of thought many years ago that it was a bit of a dying breed. But every taxidermist I talk to, they are jam-packed. They have so much work going
Yep.
on. I mean, partially it is because there isn't many people coming into the trade as such as what you were saying.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. Not a lot of younger guys getting into it, eh? Like 20 odd years ago when I first started, like all of the taxidermists in Australia were like really old guys back then.
Mm,
And most of them were real secretive, eh? And didn't want to like give away the trade secrets and
yeah.
help younger guys out and stuff. I was pretty lucky. I had a couple of really good guys to help teach me some things and help me out. So yeah, I was pretty lucky that way, but not a lot of people get to learn taxidermy in Australia.
Mm,
So the guys that are really, really keen on learning taxidermy either go overseas and try and learn the trade overseas or attach themselves to a taxidermist in Australia that's going to help them out.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a really hard career and a hard industry to get into in Australia.
Mm.
And for that reason, there's not enough of us. And,
It,
and I say that honestly, eh? There's not enough
yeah.
taxidermists in Australia.
Is there much online content? Like, for instance, could you do just YouTubing like crazy? Is there any courses online or anything like that that you could potentially learn from if you were that eager, but you didn't have the funds to get overseas and go and attach yourself to
Yeah.
someone? Is that a
Yeah,
possibility?
YouTube. Yep,
YouTube.
YouTube for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, YouTube. You can learn every aspect of taxidermy on YouTube.
Yeah.
Every
Awesome.
aspect. Granted, most of it's on white-tailed deer in America, but
Yeah. Of
the same
course.
principles apply. Same
Yeah.
principles apply here in Australia, eh? So
Yeah.
it's probably the place if you wanted to get into it. But there's absolutely nothing like learning firsthand, like hands-on
Mm.
experience. So
Yeah. Definitely.
my advice is just try and attach yourself to a taxidermist that's willing to help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely. Yeah. And at the same time, I mean, obviously you need to be respectful of their time and their trade and what they're trying to do, right? They're running a business. So do it
yeah.
respectfully. Don't just hang around and be a bad smell.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. But you've got to have the passion for it too,
You
Matty,
do.
eh?
You really do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's an
Like
art form. It
funny.
really is.
Yeah. Yeah, you do have to have some sort of artistic background.
Mm,
I mean, I say you do have to. You probably don't. Like you can force yourself to be a taxidermist with no artistic flair at all, but it definitely helps for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just
Yeah.
the act of wanting to do things with your hands, right? Like to be creative with your hands to some degree. Yeah. That obviously is a massive benefit to if you're going to line yourself up to do that line of work.
Yeah. yeah,
But
definitely.
you
Yeah.
you essentially got into it because you just wanted to try it for yourself. Is that right?
It's a bit of a weird one, eh? Like I kind of got into it. I was really, really young when I first sort of decided that I wanted to have a go at it. So I actually mounted my first deer when I was, I'm going to say 17, 16 or
Yeah. Wow.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. But I had to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, but by the time I mounted my first deer at the age of 16 or 17, I was actually really proficient at caping an animal.
Yeah. Cool.
So I actually taught myself to cape animals when I was 13.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Yeah.
from the age of 13, I was shooting goats and just practice caping goats, eh?
And
And I
like doing
cut.
full face mounts and everything, face capes and everything.
Yep,
Yep.
absolutely. Yep, from the age of 13, eh? So
Yeah. That's
like
awesome.
I'd shoot a goat and cape it out with like initially I think my first knife was like one of those Swiss Army knives, the real
Yeah.
shitty
Wow.
ones.
Yeah.
And then I got like a better knife somewhere and I was caping these goats and it'd take me like half a day to cape a goat and I'd inevitably cut the ear off it or cut the nose off it or completely stuff it and just have to throw it away and then go and get another one, you know.
Yeah.
But that's how I learned. Nobody taught me how to cape. I just taught myself by shooting nanny goats basically and
Yeah.
caping
Far
nanny
out.
goats until I got it right. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I
So
think for me, like, unfortunately, it's always an afterthought. And I mean, I've only really ever shot one deer that was probably like, in my eyes, something that I would actually mount. And so,
yeah.
but what I mean by it's always an afterthought is like, you've just worked so hard to even get the animal down that by the time it gets to that stage, it's not like the first thing you're thinking of is like, okay, now I got to keep this thing out specifically so I can get it mounted. And I want to take a different approach this year. Like my goal for the rut is to get a very decent red down if I can. And
Yep.
so going over tonight, like what I want to really cover is actually like step by step process, how you literally take it from in the field to caping it, getting it ready. And I'll direct everyone to go to your Instagram page because you put up an awesome series last year just before the rut, which is literally like face caping 101, like it's taking it through step by step. And I watched that again today. I rewatched the whole series today. And you make it look so simple. You do make it look easy. It makes it look very achievable. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, I don't know, hard parts that you come to because obviously it's your trade. It's something that you do all the time. I'm sure everyone is, not everyone, but a lot of people are lazy and just drop the whole head at you rather than trying to do it
Yep.
themselves. But at the same time, what is really good about what you go through as a process is that there's nothing that is ridiculously hard in what you do. It's just about being accurate and being intentional with what you're actually trying to do.
Yep. Yep. And face caping or all caping, but particularly face caping, it's not that hard. Hey,
Mm.
like you say that I make it look easy on the videos. It's because it is easy.
Yeah,
Like,
okay. Like, I didn't want to say that and then it's not be easy. Like, I mean, I've definitely caped out all the ones I've done for Euros and stuff. But even then, like when you're being careless, it's easy to, for instance, around the coronets, rip, like do
mhm.
cuts that go down the side rather than, and I mean, the motion that you show is just a new, kind of a different way from what I had done previously. Or I was coming from the bottom and going up the coronets instead, and then that would cause then the splits to come off in different locations. So I think
Yep.
once you've done the V and everything, which we will talk to, it kind of does make
Yep.
a fair difference, right? It's about getting into the right leverage points, being able to do it properly, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, yeah, but it's mainly about just having a go, Matty. Eh?
Mm,
Like all of those euros behind you there. Like I recommend people if they shoot an animal that they want to keep for a euro, lop the head off it for sure. But when you get home, instead of just hacking at the hide to get the skin off it before you boil it, actually practice your
have a
caping
practice. Yeah.
on that head that you've got. You know,
Yeah.
even practice like splitting the ears and the lips and everything just on that piece of skin off the head.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
no,
sure.
it's great advice. And no, I think that's what I kind of meant when I get to like the afterthought, even like I'll usually get home and it's like I'm short on time. When I get home, I'm just like, trying to make it happen. So I'm trying to chuck in the
We
boil
all
as
are.
fast
Yeah,
as fast as possible and
yeah,
whatever else. So I mean, really, it's a not making it a priority concept, isn't it? It's making, yeah, choosing other
yeah.
things rather than that. But I think you're 100% right. If you got the time to practice, like what was interesting last year in the rut in the fallow camp that I was in, there was, I think at one point we had maybe 8 heads or something just all lined up next to each other. And there was plenty of hides in camp that we could have been playing with. We could have been definitely doing that,
Absolutely.
but we
Yeah,
weren't. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But
there
even
tends to
like
be downtime.
even if you don't have time, like when you're out in the bush, or even when you get home and you take the face skin off your Euro mount, you can just put that in a plastic bag and put it in the bottom of your fridge and
True.
do it
That's
another
cool.
day. It's like it's good for a few days.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I was only telling somebody the story the other day about the first life size that I had to do.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how long ago, 10 years ago or something like that, I had to skin a life size fallow and I didn't know how to do the hooves. And I thought, I knew they had this job coming up. And I thought, I'm going to have to practice doing deer hooves, how to cape out a deer hoof properly and take the little bones out.
Yeah.
So I actually because we eat so many fallow in our household, like when I go out and shoot a deer for the freezer, back then I was actually like taking the hooves off it, like just the bottom half of the leg,
Yeah.
and bringing them home and putting them in the crisper in the bottom of the fridge.
How good.
Like I said, I've got a tolerant wife. So the crisper in the bottom of the fridge was full of fallow hooves, eh? And then because the boys were only really young and like you said, we just have no time in life nowadays.
Yeah.
After the boys had gone to bed and were just about ready to finish the night, I'd get a fallow hoof out of the fridge, sit down at the kitchen table, get my little knife out and actually have a play at trying to get the toe bones out.
How good.
And it took me probably 10 or a dozen fallow legs to actually perfect it. But that's how I taught myself how to remove toe bones out of fallow hooves, eh?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
even just caping that hide that we did, because usually it's just like, unless I'm going to try to keep it myself, and I have kept a few hides myself, and it's just about slowing down. Really, if you haven't done much of it, it's about slowing down, taking your time. Usually you can see where the muscle is. You can definitely see where the skin is. It's about using your knife in the right way to make sure you're not punching through holes or punching holes through the skin is what I meant. But yeah, I think what could be really cool in regards to, obviously this is going to come out just before the rut. The rut is coming. It's upon us. It's the time of year when I'm sure most people kind of aim up to try and get big stags or big bucks on the ground. I thought it'd be really cool if we could just kind of walk through, I guess, once you get a deer down in the wild, what is what's the main plan if you wanted to get a shoulder mount done? How far back are you wanting people to cut it when they bring it in? I've always heard like give them more than what you think. So in regards to trying to get as much of the skin off, and then in regards to getting it to a stage where you've lopped the head off, let's just talk through that firstly. Like, where are the cuts you're making around the beast? What are you trying to get? Yeah, where are you making your main incisions and going from there?
Yeah, righto. So, yes, the more hide that you can give your taxidermist, the better. Because more hide, if there's too much hide, he or she can always cut that off and throw it away.
Yep.
So, the more the better, but it's really simple. I just tell everybody exactly halfway between the front leg and the back leg.
Yeah.
So you've got your beast laying dead on the ground. Exactly halfway between the front leg and the back leg is generally around about the last rib, so the back of the rib cage. So your first cut should always be there, and just do like a full circle cut right around the beast.
Yeah.
Right around.
If it's not necessarily straight, like it's a little loopy and whatever else, doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, doesn't matter, mate. So yeah, halfway between the front leg and the back leg is where you've got to cut it. Some people will say like you should go right back to the pizzle, and trust me, I get heaps of capes through my workshop here that are caped as far back as the pizzle. That's probably a bit of a waste of a cape, because like the first thing I do, even before I'll salt it, I'll cut off 6 or 8 inches of cape and throw it away.
Yeah.
There's some circumstances where you need heaps of cape, like if you're doing like a big hard turn wall pedestal where you're continuing to wrap the hide right around the back onto the scallop bit as well, you'll need a heap of cape, but generally you don't need it as far back as the pizzle. So halfway between the front leg and the back leg is heaps.
Yeah. So circle completely around the body.
Yep. Completely around the body. And then the back cut, the dorsal cut, I like to get my animal onto his legs. So like his belly is literally facing towards the ground.
Yep.
Tuck his legs underneath him, so his dorsal's pointing straight up.
Dorsal being the back or the neck, like essentially the whole way up the middle of the spine, right?
Yeah. So on things like fallow, there's like a line to follow, eh? Fallow deer have got like a darker stripe right down the middle of their neck and then down the middle of their back.
Yeah.
So if you can get that pointing straight up. Now, I prefer to start at the head and cut away from myself, from the head down towards the shoulders and then across the center of the back.
Yep.
Some people do it opposite. Some people start in the middle of the animal's body and work their way towards the back of the head.
Yeah.
I actually find, and I've done both ways, but I actually find starting at the head and cutting away from yourself down the neck, you get a straighter cut because the skin doesn't bunch up.
Yeah,
Whereas if you're
interesting.
going back the other way towards the neck, the skin will actually wrinkle up and bunch up, and then you'll get a really uneven cut.
Yeah, okay.
So
Also, that the thing, I mean, that skin's reasonably thick during the rut too, right? Like they've thickened up on the
yeah,
back and stuff. So I wonder if that plays into it a fair chunk as well then.
yeah. Have you caped a rooster?
Not, no, not yet.
Rooster are ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
They are ridiculous.
I did get meat off of one, but it was a little spiker, so it wasn't like
Yeah,
proper thickness to
yeah.
it yet.
So a rooster stag can have skin, just the skin on the back of the neck, like 30 mils thick. No worries at all.
Far out.
It's
That's insane.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is absolutely ridiculous. And chittle are the same too. Chittle get really thick skin on the back of the neck.
Yeah,
Fallow
well,
are pretty soft. Fallow
yeah,
have got pretty soft skin really. But if
yeah.
we're talking about fallow, like what I like to do is get the animal on his belly,
Hmm.
so his back's pointing towards the sky, and I actually stand in front of the animal
Yeah.
and pull the antlers back towards me so the animal is away from me. And by tilting his antlers forward towards you, it actually puts tension on the back skin on the
Yeah, of
neck as well.
course. Yeah.
And then just plunge your knife in right at the back of the skull, and then just push your knife away from you with the blade facing up, straight down that dorsal line, all the way back to your center cut.
Yeah, cool.
So if you do that, pull those antlers forward. On big critters like red stags, I'll actually step through the antlers.
Yeah.
So the antlers will be like behind my thighs.
Hmm.
And that way I can step back with my legs, with my hands free.
Yeah.
Step back with my legs, put pressure on the neck, which tensions up the skin on the back of the head. And then you get a really, really nice dorsal cut. Really nice straight cut. Yeah.
And so you've done straight down the center all the way back to your center cut. And then what's
Yep.
the next cut that you'd usually go for from there?
So then I lay mine on their side to do this,
Uh-huh.
but you can flip them right over onto their back. But I just lay them on my side. And then it's the leg cuts, right? So you do another circle cut right around the elbow.
Yep.
So the actual front elbow joint.
Mhm.
You don't need to go any lower than the elbow. So I use the elbow as a good reference.
Yep.
Do a circle cut right around the elbow. And then again, to pull tension on the skin so you get a nice, clean, straight cut, I actually pull the front leg like forward. So still standing in front of the deer's head, like at the front of the animal.
Yep.
Pull his leg forward. And like by pulling it forward like that,
Yep.
the skin underneath his armpit will actually bridge. You'll see this little bridge of skin stand up.
Yep.
And you pull the leg hard forward and then cut from your center cut down the back of the front leg straight across the top of that bridge. You'll see it's like a big flap of skin.
Yep.
And if you pull that leg forward tight, run your knife right straight down the back of the leg, cross the bridge, and then straight out to your center cut, do that on both legs, you'll end up with a parallel brisket flap of hide about 5 or 6 inches wide.
Yeah, amazing.
And that's the only opening cuts you put on your cape.
Yeah, wow.
Because around the elbows.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I often find that piece of meat that you're saying, like that extends out, I almost put my hand through the fan. That piece of meat is like, it tends to be, if you don't do it like that, for instance, it's the part where it usually gets bunched up and it's hard and you collect a lot of meat when you're cutting it off as well. So that's a good little tip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So grab that front leg and pull the front leg forward, like right out towards the deer's head.
Yeah.
Like as if he's stretching right out in front of him. And then that will pull that little bridge across his armpit. It'll pull it real taut, and you'll see that bridge of skin stand up. And straight down the back of the leg, right across that bridge of skin through his armpit, and then out along the side of his brisket. Do that on both sides, and you should end up with a parallel brisket flap. Yeah.
Sweet. And so then you're just literally starting on the legs and peeling them back and down from there?
Yeah, so I actually start where your dorsal cut intersects your big circular cut around the center of the body. So I start up in that top corner there.
Yep.
I actually just start and go in like 2 or 3 inches on top of the rose meat. So if you're really nice and clean and you get your blade right on the skin, you'll separate that rose meat. You know, you get that real little thin pink sinewy meat attached to the cape.
Yeah.
If you can get on top of that and leave that rose meat attached to the skin, then I actually punch my fallow capes off. So all of the shoulder part of a fallow, I actually punch it off with my fist.
Yeah.
Get my fist in there, in between that rose meat and the hide, and just with your knuckles and just punch it off.
Yeah,
and I can punch it right down to the armpits. And then I've only got to just skin the legs and the neck out. So
yeah. And then are you taking the legs off fully before you start on the neck at all?
Yep.
You are,
Yep.
yep. So you
So,
strip it all
yep.
out. So it's all just
Yep.
free.
So I do all of my shoulders first.
Yep.
Punch all of that shoulder off. Sometimes, like fallow, I can punch really easy. Red stags, yeah, sometimes, but like a big rooster or a chital or something, you're going to struggle to punch it off. So you've got to skin it. But once you skin it down to the actual armpit area and the legs, then I actually just skin around the legs because you've got that opening cut down the back of the leg. So I
Yep.
actually skin around that part of the leg. And then I actually hold the leg between my knees so I can hold the hide and skin it. So I actually pinch the leg between my knees, like about his hoof.
Yep.
Actually hold his hoof between my knees, and then you can kind of move the leg wherever you want with your own legs, then, and then
Yeah,
skin
of
the legs
course.
off.
Yeah.
Only place you got to be really careful is right in around that armpit where it joins the brisket.
Mm-hmm.
The hide is really thin there. It's really thin, and it's hard to distinguish between where the hide is and where the actual
With the
brisket
actual.
meat is because it's
Yep.
all fatty and stuff.
Yep.
And I would say 1 in 10 people cut a hole in the brisket when they're caping a deer. It's a very common thing to happen just because it's so hard to distinguish where the skin is.
So are you better off to actually try take some of the fat then and then come back to it later?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Or just slow down, eh? Just slow
Mm.
down when you're down around the brisket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then once you've got the brisket free and all of the legs free, then you can start working on the neck. And I just work on one side at a time. So I'll do
So
all
just
of the
keep him
shoulder.
laying on his side and just keep
Yep.
going. Yeah.
Yep. So do my opening cuts and then I'll lay him on the side and then do skin all the one side right up to the back of his ears.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll flip him over and then attack the other side. So I
Yeah,
only got
cool.
to roll him over once,
Yeah.
because once you start dealing with like real big red stags and stuff, the least amount of times you roll them over, the better, eh?
Yeah, definitely. They get pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
crazy.
taxing
Yeah.
pretty quickly. Yeah. And if you've got the opportunity to be able to hang a deer, would you bother or would you prefer it on the ground?
I've always done them on the ground. I've never had the luxury of being able to hang one.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, where I shoot stuff, it's like
It's,
pretty wild.
yeah. You just got to
Yeah,
do
you
it
don't
where it
have.
is.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
I've caked stuff in some horrendous locations over the years. You just kind of make do, eh?
Yeah.
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 So
The old stiff back after caping for ages or butchering for ages. It's always an interesting little feeling.
yeah, it is, man, for sure. Yeah, yeah,
So then we're pretty much you're getting it. So you're taking all the skin off as high as you can, pretty much up to like the occiput to be able to chop it there and
yep,
take your head off.
yep.
And then from there, I'm going to share my screen from here because this is essentially where your video starts to kick in. So one thing that you kind of pointed out inside of this video was that the person probably hadn't chopped it high enough in regards to what you like to see that original
Yeah,
cut.
just that's right. That dorsal cut, yeah, on that particular cape there, it's still like probably a good 3 or 4 inches from where it needs to terminate.
Yep.
So yeah, you can see what I'm doing there is just sort of drawing a line between the ears. If you draw an imaginary line straight between the two ears, that's kind of where I like my dorsal cut to finish, eh? So
Yep.
some people take it closer up to the antlers, and you just end up with like a smaller little triangle, but I personally actually prefer a bit bigger triangle to work with.
In regards to the actual stitching it back up, it makes it easier
Yeah.
or
So when
yeah.
it comes time to stitching it up, yeah, when it comes time to stitching it up, a bigger triangle gets that cut away from the antlers. And because I'm a big dude, like I've got big hands, yeah, the further I can get my big mitts away from those antlers when I'm trying to stitch it up, the better, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
yeah, so start at the back of the antler and then do your triangle cut out to that dorsal cut. And depending on the species, on a rooster like that, you'll end up with a triangle of hide that's probably 3.5, 4 inches long.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I prefer. Yeah. But some people like do it real random, eh? Like some people will take that dorsal cut all the way up between the antlers and then do a straight line cut from antler to antler.
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah.
That would make
Yeah.
it a fair bit harder when you're fidgeting with it later, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, like I said, I've got to get my big mitts in between the antlers and try and stitch it up
Yeah.
nicely. It's hard.
Yeah, I can
So,
imagine. One thing
Yeah,
that I liked that you did here, actually, when you were explaining it, is the cuts and making the V cut. You're saying like if the antlers are facing like you've got the nose towards you of the deer, so the
yep,
antlers are kind of facing away from you. In regards to the cuts you're trying to make, think of each coronet or each base of the antler as a clock. And so on the left
yep,
hand side one, you'd be thinking of it as kind of like a 1 or 2 o'clock, and then on the left
yep,
hand side, thinking of it like a kind of a 10 or 11 o'clock, like as a
yep.
being able to chop back out and have your V shape. Or that was a really good little easy tip. That's just like, okay, yep, makes complete sense. You're just thinking of it like clock. It's something everyone always knows to be able to
Yeah,
follow
that's right.
through.
And that's why I kind of said it like that, because a lot of people that don't know how to face cape, they ask me all the time, like, where do you start?
Mm,
Where do you make your V cut? And if you just work your V cut on like say 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock on a clock face, you're in the ballpark, eh? That's
yeah.
good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And then you've essentially done the V cut on one side and you're going straight into cutting around the outside, just freeing up a little bit of space, pretty much to bring the hide around to be in line with where you've freed up to some degree. Is that correct?
Yeah, you
Or
just got to keep chasing it, Matty, eh? You just got to
yeah,
chase it around the skull because it is pretty firmly attached there, eh?
yeah.
You can't just keep working your way down one side of the face and do all of the one side in one go. So
Hmm.
you've just got to keep freeing it up as you go. So yeah, unfortunately, you're flipping a head over a heap of times to get the cape off it.
Yeah.
Lucky it doesn't weigh too much, eh? But
I think that was
yeah, you
definitely
just
a
got to keep
problem I
chasing
had
it.
done though, in regards to every time I've tried to cape faces, I've always tried to just keep to one side rather than thinking, okay,
Yeah,
flip it, move it, do it, like do what you have to get around this coronet first and then keep going down.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that was definitely a big difference. But then, like
yeah,
this, for instance, right now on the screen, it's showing you are doing around the tops where the antlers meets the coronet, where it's essentially just piercing your knife in from the top and doing a bit of more of a scraping motion to help get that hide off or away from the coronets.
yeah. That's right. Yeah. So I actually just use the very tip of my knife, eh? Like you don't
Mm,
need a very big knife, and all you're really doing is you're breaking the seal where that skin attaches to the bottom of the coronet.
yep.
You just got to break that seal, you just got to cut that skin. And once you've got a little cut in it, I actually tear most of my coronet off, eh?
Yeah, I
Like
was watching that.
I rip it off the skull. It does come away pretty easily, eh?
Yeah. And do you
Um,
ever have any issues of it tearing, or it's too thick a skin to be able to do that?
no, so if you have a little nick, like if you put a little nick in the top of that skin where it joins the coronet,
Yep.
it will tear there. Yeah, 100%. And I have done it in the past, eh?
Yep.
Like you can see, I'm fairly well ripping it there.
Definitely.
But if you've actually cut or put a tiny little nick in the top of that skin, I probably wouldn't be that aggressive with ripping it off because you
Yeah.
will
Okay. You
tear
will
it.
tear it.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, 100% you will. So, but if you don't nick the top of it and you keep that top edge of that coronet cape part there, keep it nice and clean with no tears or nicks or anything.
Hmm.
Yeah, it'll come off pretty easy if you just pull it. Yeah,
And the
yeah,
reason for a lot of guys using a screwdriver is just because it doesn't have the sharpness of a knife. So it's like kind of a fail safe. Would that be right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. So, as easy as I can pull it off by hand, you can pry it off with a screwdriver, just a flat screwdriver.
Yeah.
And I actually recommend that, like, especially if you're just starting out, have a go
Mhm.
at the screwdriver method. It's a good method. It's probably a lot slower than the way I do it, but yeah, like if you're just at home and you want to practice how to do it, have a flat screwdriver with you for sure, and have a go
Mhm.
at it, because you will lever it off pretty easy, and you won't tear it, you won't cut it. Yeah, screwdriver's real safe, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one of the other tips you give is kind of when you're on the face here in particular, when you try and take it away, is always use your. I mean, this is a great tip in general, whether it's going for meat or going for caping a face off, is actually using your bone against, sorry, your knife against the bone, looking for the edge to
Yeah.
be on the bone rather than ever looking for it to be on open flesh as such. And I've been a part of different butchering courses and stuff and seeing guys taken to flesh and they just cut straight through it. You're like, no, no, no. Like, look for the bone, look for the bone. Always, yeah.
That's right. Look for the bone. Yeah, yeah. And that probably comes back to my old abattoir days because I actually did a stint in the abattoir as a beef boner.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, all of your cuts are onto the bone, eh? So you
Yeah, of
don't leave any
course.
meat on the bone. Yeah. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing with face caping out a deer. If you make sure that all your knife cuts go onto the actual skull, onto the bone, then you're not going to cut a hole in your cape, hey?
Yeah, never gonna pop a hole.
Whereas if you've got your blade angled out towards the skin, yeah, you risk cutting holes in it. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
But
you've
it's not
sent.
that hard, dude, eh?
No, no, it really is. It's pretty straightforward the way that you kind of lay it out in this video, and I'd definitely recommend if you're not watching along with us, jump across and no, I'll definitely if I do this in camp, I will be having this on my phone while I'm caping things. I mean, more so when it gets to the later parts of like flipping the lips and doing those bits and pieces. But I mean, even this part, right? The in between the in between the antlers and in between the coronets, trying to get that part, it is definitely like a little bit fidgetier compared to
Yeah,
the outsides. Like the outsides are pretty straightforward. This is where it starts to get like, okay, slow down, make sure you're getting that knife in the right positions and you're not making those little
yeah,
nicks and tears that you were just talking about.
yeah. And just because inside the antlers, you've run out of room, eh? There's no
Mm,
room to work in there, so
hmm.
definitely just slow down. But we go back to just using the very tip of your knife. You don't
Yeah.
want to be plunging. You don't want to be plunging all of your blade in underneath that skin if you can't see what you're doing in there.
Yeah.
So just use the very tip of your knife and only cut what you can see. Don't just try and guess where you're cutting.
It was like that knife that you're using, it's obviously a pretty good steel, right? Like one that you don't have to touch up or do too much to as well.
Yeah, it's not a bad knife. I've got it right here next to me, actually. I use a couple of different knives. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what that one is, but that's the actual knife right there.
Yeah.
It's just one of those Nitos or something from
Hmm.
Spain.
Yeah. Okay.
They're not an expensive knife.
Yeah.
I think they're like 40 or $50 or $60 or something.
Yeah. Wow.
This one was longer. This
Yeah.
was
You've just
10, I
shaved
had a
it down
10
so
centimeter
much.
blade.
Yeah.
Well, I actually cut a fair bit off it to start with and reshaped it
Yeah.
to suit me. So I turned it from a
Oh,
10
wow.
centimeter blade into a 7 centimeter blade,
Yeah. Got you.
just because I prefer a shorter
You
blade. Eh?
do so much
So
of short stuff. Yeah. And I actually, one of the things I made is the change, I guess, to my pack recently is I've got this small little blade. It's literally like a hollowed out one that's perfect for your
yeah,
hand, like one that probably used to have twine or something in the handle, but it literally sits in the back of my bino harness. And that's the main knife that I use now. And I love it. It's been great, but it's just this, it's a small little miniature knife where you can literally get into everything that you need to. It's just, I'm much the same. Prefer a small knife.
yeah, it's perfect. And I've got this is my bino harness knife right here.
Yeah.
So this is a Tassie Tiger knife
Yeah.
from
Cool. I've got some Tassie Tigers.
Tasmania. So
Yeah.
yeah, so just a little folding knife. But yeah, that's the one that I keep in my bino harness just because it's so small
Yeah.
and it's got almost identical size
Yeah.
blade
Far out
to
to the
my
other one.
preferred size.
Yeah.
So I was running one of those scalpel style blades in my bino harness for years and years and years, but
Yeah.
I actually I actually hate scalpel knives, eh?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them. I do like it. So when I went hunting with James that time, he actually had a bigger blade. Like, in scalpels, they're
Yeah,
usually so small and skinny, and that's too
yeah,
small for what I like to use. But he had a
yeah,
version, I don't know what it was, a Gerber or something like that, but they essentially had like a fat blade that was kind of like probably a thumb and a half thickness, like in width. And that was
yeah,
like the first kind of blade I saw. I was like, that's actually that's a decent size. It's good for cutting with. But yeah, the actual scalpel blades that you see, the small little ones they put on those, I don't know what they are even, but the ones that you can replace, I don't dig them.
yeah. Yeah, no, I'm the same. So when they first came out, I actually got one because I thought that'll be like awesome for backpacking, Like it just
Mm,
weighs nothing. So I was actually heading into Fiordland on a wapiti hunt, and I actually decided to just take my scalpel blade,
yeah,
and that
okay.
was probably my biggest regret of the hunt, hey,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
like it was everything. It was my caping knife, it was my camp knife, it was
Yeah, far
everything.
out.
And
Yeah,
I'd never done any practice with it. I was just like so excited that I had a knife that weighed
so
bugger
light.
all
Yeah.
because Fiordland's all about saving grams,
Uh-huh.
wherever you can, like cutting
Yeah.
zippers off your pants and cutting the handle off your toothbrush and shit like that. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I've got this scalpel blade, and I'm just like, oh shit, yeah, I'll be like heaps better in Fiordland with this. And by the end of the 10 days in there, I was nursing my last blade through.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Like I went through 10 blades in 10 days. It was
Like snapped them
absolutely
or they just
ridiculous.
got blunt or what?
Yeah, no, like everything. Like I had nothing to steal them on. Like you can
Yeah.
steal a scalpel blade back up, but I had nothing to steal them on. So if they got blunt, I just had to like pack them up, put them away, put a new blade on.
Yeah.
But like I was in there with my mate Gab Simpson, and we both shot a bull each. So I'd actually caped 2 whoppity bulls with that scalpel blade
Yeah, far out.
and used it for our camp knife for 10 days. So cutting cheese and salami and all sorts of shit, and sharpening sticks and doing all sorts of foolish stuff with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the last bull, Gavin shot his bull on like the second last day or the third last day or something. And I actually snapped like 4 blades on his bull, just
far out.
bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're bloody sharp. Like I chopped a head off with one just not so long ago. The Cuyahoga boys actually brought out, it's like such a small little one. And I've got one of those in my barn harness too, actually. But it literally, it's so sharp. And I chopped it. Like we wanted to time it and film it and see how long it took to cut off to cut off a boar's head. And it was just like, it's still sharp. It still does the job, right? Like it's still the same thing. But I don't love how thin and small the blades are. Yeah.
Yeah, and they are too sharp, eh? Like,
that's why I think they're almost too sharp. I'm scared to use them.
Yeah. So all of the capes that come through my workshop that are cut to shit, like with the lips cut and everything, it's from scalpel blades.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but you're saying about the bigger one. My mate Matt in Victoria, he uses the bigger blade one too, and he seems to handle it real good, eh?
Yeah, I think just having like more surface area to be able to leverage off of or something. I don't know what it is, but it felt way better in hand when you were cutting with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
I haven't used one of the bigger ones, but he seems to cape animals real good with his. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give him a go one day, the bigger blade one. But I'm pretty happy with my fixed blade knives, so I'll just stick to them, I reckon, eh?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, what I think they would be really good for, the bigger blade ones, is like taking the last little bit of gunk off of a cape, for instance, when you've got it out and you're just fleshing it out. That's like that was what it was perfect for. It really actually was, solid job for that. Yeah. Cool.
But I mean, if you can't sharpen a knife, if you don't know how to stone a knife or steel a knife properly, they're a great option.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet. So we've got coronets, or we've got the skin off coronets completely on both sides, and then you're just keeping from the top and working your way down.
Yeah, so just all of the cuts onto that bone again, eh? Just make sure that all of them cuts are onto the bone. And realistically, when you're taking the face cape off an animal, you're actually just cutting the sinews that hold the skin to the bone. So there's really not a lot of muscle, not a lot of connective muscle on the face. You're just cutting those sinews, eh? It's just like little white rubber band, little sinews that just hold that skin to the skull. You just cut them. So if you cut all of them with your blade facing towards the skull, you're not going to have any problem, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. So what are you doing here? Why have you put your finger into their eyeball, essentially, to get this eye cut right? What have you done?
Yeah, just so I know where the eye is, eh? So the eyelids are really crucial. Like, you've got to keep the eyelids on your cape, eh? You can't cut them off. So to protect the eyelid, I actually plunge my finger into the eye socket. And then when I'm cutting like that there, I've actually trapped the eyelid between my finger, the tip of my finger, and the skin.
Yeah, awesome.
So then I know if I cut between where my finger is and the bone, that I'm not cutting the eyelid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, you just slow down again, eh? Slow down around the eyes. Nice little cuts. Don't go crazy. Make sure you know exactly where that eyelid is the whole time. And then, like you can get an eyelid, you can get an eye caped out in, like I just did, 10 or 15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's a major thing to point out, is exactly what you just said, of like, it's short, small cuts. You're never doing anything like big and drastic. It's always just, where is the tightest sinew that I'm pulling on right now? That's all I'm aiming for. You're not going for big, long slices or anything.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just be methodical about it. Nice little cuts.
Yeah.
Like I said, don't cut anywhere where you can't see that blade. Don't plunge your blade in underneath a big chunk of skin or a big chunk of meat if you can't see what's in there. So keep all of your cuts where you can actually see them, and you can't go wrong. So.
And with this gland, is it important that you always go under the gland? You can't go over the top of it? Midway through, essentially?
Like you can. It doesn't really matter, because taxidermists tuck that gland anyway. So you're not going to see it if you cut the end off it.
Just for a cleaner. It's just for a cleaner finish, essentially, is cutting the orbital gland properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just best practice, eh? Best practices to try and keep that pre-orb gland intact. So they rip out really easy. If you've got your finger in that eye, like you just seen I had then, and you actually like pull, yeah, you'll rip that pre-orb gland out pretty easy, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
yeah, pretty simple, mate.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing. Like watching this video, and once again, I recommend everyone goes and watches it. It just gives you a lot of confidence in like, oh yeah, it is basic. Like you just need to not overcomplicate it. Use your blade against the knife, sorry, against the bones. And I think the biggest things is probably around the eyes and the lips, and that's the things that people are probably going to be most worried about, never having done them before.
Yeah, yeah, but like if you watch somebody do it, especially in person, like I don't
Mhm.
know, I've lost count of how many people I've taught how to cape over the years.
Yeah, I can
Um,
imagine.
if you watch somebody do it in person, like instantly, as soon as you finished watching that, you'll just go like, I can do that. Like
Yeah,
it's not that hard. It's just if you've never been shown, you don't know where to start, eh?
yeah,
So that's why I made those videos because a lot of people haven't been shown, and
hmm
I was finding like if let's say I get 100 heads dropped in for the year, literally 2 or 3 of those will be fully caped, the lips slit, the ears turned and salted.
that's crazy.
The rest of them all come on the head still.
Yep.
Yeah. So like because nobody's shown people how to
No,
do it, they
exactly.
don't know how to
Yep.
do it, so they're too scared to have a crack. So
Yep.
I'll happily show anybody, and that's why I made the videos just to try and educate people. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
uh,
think it's great. This is a good
yeah,
little tip. I think this is awesome where you're essentially going back to the mouth and you're opening up or pushing the nose up, pushing the lips up as far as you can just to reveal that gum where the gum meets the teeth to be able to get
yeah,
into it.
yeah, yeah. So it's pretty crucial to keep a little bit of that internal lip material there. You can see
Yep.
because taxidermists need that lip material to tuck into their lip slot.
Yep.
So you kind of need, at least depending on the species, but sort of like 10 mil of internal lip material
Yeah, got
attached to
you.
your cape.
Yep.
So the best way to do it is, yeah, roll that nose up out of the way so you can actually see what you're dealing with. Again, don't cut anywhere you can't see what you're cutting.
Yep.
Roll that nose up out of the way, and then you just score that lip material again onto the bone, like
Yep.
all of the cuts onto the bone. And by doing that and then kind of working away till you get to the cartilage of the nose, and yeah, just keep rolling that nose up out of the way with your hand,
Yep.
and yeah, you'll get it off in a couple of minutes. Yeah,
Yeah, and then I like this part, obviously the nose part where you're essentially cutting the cartilage back as far as you can to hit the bone, then you go up and then you
yeah,
cut back down towards it again
yeah.
just to
So that's
free up that.
the only time when you're caping an animal out that I actually cut towards the hide
Yep.
is right there where I'm cutting up through that internal nose cartilage back up towards the hide.
hmm
So I just slow right down. You just want to break through that cartilage to separate it off the skull and then turn around and then all your knife cuts back down onto the skull again.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
And then same thing for
Yeah,
the bottom. Pull the lips right down, going along
yeah,
the teeth line where the gums kind of hit the skin. Oh, sorry, the lips, and then going from there.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just be really careful underneath that chin there because the hide is really, really thin, eh?
Mm.
So like you can see through it. It's so thin on
Yeah.
most
Wow.
deer. So
Yeah.
just slow right down. Yeah, pull it down with your left hand if you're a right-handed fella like me.
hmm
Just pull it down with your left hand so you can see those little sinews taut, and then you're just cutting those little sinews free, eh?
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. But just be really slow. Just slow right down on that bottom lip, and you shouldn't have too many problems, eh?
Yeah. And then at the back of the jowls there, you essentially just taking it as far back as you can, like when you're
Yeah, as
cutting
far back
back,
as you can. Yep,
and
as
then you
far
come
back as
back
you
from
can.
this side.
Then come back to that side, and then it's just you just joining all your cuts up now. You've done all of the
Yeah.
hard work now, so you just got to join those cuts that you're working there at the back of the mouth pouch. You just got to chase them forward until you find your front cut. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
literally, like you said, done most of the hard work there. So just trimming the rest off, meaning your cuts up, and that pretty
yeah,
much
yeah,
leads into
yeah, yeah,
the ears, which I think so. No, I mean, I actually saw someone caping a long time ago, and they made such a big deal about the ears. Is that it kind of almost scared everyone who was in the crowd. We went to like a live bow hunting event out at one of the archery clubs here in Brizzy, And he
Yep.
was like, yeah, make sure when you're doing the ears, like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. They're very hard. Make sure you don't do. And it was just like drilling all the things not to do. I think it came to the part where he's like, okay, who wants to have a turn? And everyone's like, nope, stuff that. But he had the ear pliers and everything. So very different compared to being able to just do it with a knife like what you're doing in this video.
Yeah, but like he's probably pretending he's a rocket scientist too. It ain't rocket science, eh?
Yeah.
It's really not that hard.
Mm.
Yeah, like the hardest part is what I'm doing right now, and that's getting into the ear cartilage around that ear butt. So that big red muscle,
Yep.
getting in underneath that red muscle to so you can see what you're working with. That's honestly that's one of the hardest parts about doing an ear.
Yep.
And anyone can do that. Like you said earlier, it's just like flesh and red meat off a cape. That's all
Yes.
I'm basically doing there. But I'm just chasing it around in a circle until I can get to the cartilage. Once I'm at the actual cartilage, same deal. It's just cuts onto the cartilage. Just pretend the cartilage in the back of the ear
Your
is the
bone.
skull again,
Yep.
and it's your bone. That's right. And if you're cutting onto that cartilage, you're not going to cut a hole in your ear.
Mm.
And particularly right at the bottom of the ear there, those white sinews that I keep talking about, they're like
Yep.
a big white rubber band.
Yep.
They really, really hold on tight on an ear.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you cut those cartilages, those little sinews, sorry, if you cut those white sinews, actually pocketing the ear is a piece of piss. Like
Yeah.
you see
Gotcha.
in the video, I just do it with my fingers. So,
Yeah. And so like once again, there's a really good, I guess, footage of you just using the tip of your knife, like really just slowing down and being delicate with it.
yeah, yeah. So the whole thing with face caping
Mm.
is you're literally only using the last 5 or 10 millimeters of your blade, the
Yeah.
very tip of your blade. That's all you use for the entire project. So like if you're skinning a beast from scratch, yeah, you might need a bigger skinning knife. But when you're actually face caping, a smaller knife is so much easier to work with, eh?
Yeah.
So yeah, and because you're only doing tiny little cuts, like I keep saying, you don't cut where you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
You only use the very tip of your knife just to cut those cartilages, so the sinews.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you've got all of those sinews cut like that, the rest of the ear pocket's really easy. And yeah, some guys use ear pliers. I have used them in the past. So I did a fair bit of guiding on a game ranch for a few years where we
Yeah.
used to cape heaps of deer. And I used to use ear pliers on the game ranch, but I kind of went away from them just because I prefer to touch and feel, eh? So
Mm.
I prefer to feel what I'm doing with the ear. And I found that I would blow less holes in the ears if I just used my fingers.
Yeah.
Because
No,
with
it
the
makes a
ear
lot of sense, I
pliers,
think. Yeah.
you don't really get a yeah, you don't really get a feel for the tension inside the ear, and it can be pretty easy to blow them out, eh? So
Yeah. And then
that's
same
why
with
I
the
just use my
screwdriver as
fingers
well,
and
right?
literally, yep, yep, yeah. But with the ears, like, yeah, just use your finger
Mm.
and pocket them out pretty easy. Big things like real big sandbar stags and real big red stags, you won't be able to get your finger right up into the end of the ear.
Because
So
it's too long
I
or
actually, yeah, yeah, it's too long, yeah.
yeah.
So that's when I actually use my steel. So that
Mm.
particular steel that you can see right there, I'll actually use that as my finger to pocket the ear.
Yeah. Okay.
So
And
yeah,
then you're just slowing
yeah,
down towards the edges to make sure you're not going to bust through it, essentially.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So too many people that want to have a go at the ears actually go too close to the edge and end up inevitably cutting a hole in the edge of the ear.
Yeah. Okay.
So long as you're within like 3 mil or 4 mil or whatever of the edge of the ear, the salt's still going to do its job. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're not confident to go right to the edge of the ear, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't go to the edge of the ear. So I actually tell people all the time, anything you do is better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
So,
True.
like for instance, I had two taxidermy clients shoot tar in New Zealand last year, and both of these boys had never caped an animal before, never face caped an animal before, never turned ears or split lips before.
Yeah.
And I talked both of them through how to do it over the phone.
No way.
And yeah, and they both did great jobs, eh? Great
Yeah.
jobs. So I just said to them it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Anything you do is better than doing nothing. Like if you to only pocket half of the ear and get salt into half of the ear, that's better than not pocketing any of the ear, you know?
Just in
So
regards to you're going to preserve more of that hair, right? Like the
yeah,
fur.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So you just got to get salt into those ears, eh? Like if you don't
Yeah.
get salt into the ears, you risk hair slip and then the hair all falls out of your ears. So
Yeah.
Yeah, salt's your friend, eh? You've got to get salt on everything. So, but like if you can only do half of the year, like particularly on tar, yeah. So like these boys, one of the guys did a great job. He actually pocketed it right to the edge of the ear. The other fella did an awesome job too, but he left like the last 15 or 20 mil of the ear unpocketed
Mm-hmm.
because he was too scared to just take it all of the way.
Yeah, got
That's
you.
fine. That's fine because he had to go and he got salt in the bit that he did pocket,
Yep.
and he got that cape back to Australia and got it back to me, and I got it in the pickle and then got it shaved and tanned, and it tanned up perfect.
And there's
Even
no
with the
slippage
last
or anything.
no no
Yeah,
even
awesome.
with the last 15 mil of the ear not turned. But a tar only has an ear that long, like they've got a really
Yeah.
small ear. So
Yep.
you put enough salt on it and in it and around it and all over it, and you can sneak them through without being pocketed right to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And
Yeah.
then obviously the cartilage stays attached, so you're not never removing that. You're just removing the flesh from the base of it all with the ears.
Yeah, so I don't remove the cartilage. In my taxidermy workshop, I do the builder's bog ears.
Yep.
So the cartilage stays in. But the
Mhm.
taxidermists that use ear liners, they take all of that cartilage out after the cape's tanned. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's a leave it for them job.
That's a leave it for the taxidermist job. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the lips, and I think this is probably one of the other parts where people do get most scared is on the lips side of things. What are you kind of thinking here? What's the main
So
objection?
So same deal. Like the whole purpose of doing all of this work to the cape is to preserve it with salt, right? So you got to get salt technically to the back of every hair follicle. If you can
Yeah.
get salt on the back of every hair follicle, you're going to dehydrate it, stop bacteria growth, and that hair's not going to fall out. So what I'm doing right here is actually splitting the lip so I can get right to that lip line, so I can get salt to all of those hair follicles on the outside of the cape.
Yeah. Okay.
So on the inside of the mouth, you've got that soft lip material.
Mm-hmm.
Salt won't penetrate that. So you've got to get your knife underneath that lip material, like you can see me doing there, just
Yep.
so you can get salt to those external hair follicles, eh? So yeah, it's really simple. You just work your way around the lip line. I always keep my hand underneath the lip, and that way I can gauge the depth. I can feel how thick it is.
Yeah, I really like that.
Um,
And I mean, you use that a lot throughout the whole process, right? Whenever you've got
yeah,
the ability to have your hand underneath or your fingers underneath, you're feeling that skin where the knife's
yeah,
going to, so you're not ever going to cut through.
yeah, that's right. It's all about touching and feeling, eh? So
Mm,
I like to keep my hands underneath it because I like my fingers, eh? I like them
yeah,
intact, and I
yeah,
don't want to cut
exactly.
them. So by cutting towards my fingers through the skin like that, I make bloody sure that I don't cut a hole in the cape, eh? Because I don't
Yeah,
want to cut my fingers. So,
yeah,
um,
100%.
but yeah, the main reason is so I can feel the thickness, feel where I am. You'll feel you'll feel if it's not split right to the lip, it'll feel like a little bead of rope or something. You'll
Yeah,
actually feel a bulge. Whereas if you keep going right to that lip line, it'll just flatten out, and then you'll have a universal thickness all the way through.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. So,
And
but
and is
same
it?
deal, Matty. Like anything you do is better than doing nothing.
Yeah, of course. And is
Yeah.
this material? Is it like really like Jello like, or is it pretty hard? Is it pretty tender?
No,
Like,
it's
what's it
hard
like?
as, eh?
Yeah, okay.
No, it's hard as. Yeah, like it's not slippery, it's not slimy, it's not jelly. It's just more skin material, eh?
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it's particularly around those lips. You get that fatty red meat,
Mhm.
that fatty red muscle and stuff. Yeah, it's actually pretty firm to cut, so you won't have too many problems. Again, round the bottom lip line there, just be really careful, eh? Because those chin areas on deer is really, really thin.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
and I
same
mean,
concept in regards to the lip there. It's just thin all the way up, essentially. Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, especially on that bottom lip, eh?
Mm,
So again, if you've never done it and you've never seen it done, you'll be a little bit scared at that point. Same as boning out a deer. You can see your seams, right? You can see
yeah.
your muscle seams and stuff. When you're actually face caping and splitting lips and stuff, it's exactly the same. You
Mm,
can clearly see your inside lip material from the hair side lip material. There's a
definitely.
very white line, and if you just follow that white line, and you can see the hair
Yeah, I
follicles
was
on
going
the
to say you
chin
can see
side.
the yeah, see the hair
Yeah,
follicles there. Yeah.
yeah, Yeah, if you just keep the hair follicles on one side of your blade and that white lip skin on the other side of your blade,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see like a proper junction between the two. You just keep cutting that whilst feeling with your fingers underneath it, and you'll just feel you're getting deeper and deeper into it, and then it'll all of a sudden flatten out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you've split the lips, are you removing any of that gunk that's back behind it, essentially, like at the front of the lip at least, or are you just leaving
No,
most of that there? Yeah.
no, don't touch it. Don't touch it. So again, leave that for your taxidermist to do.
Mm-hmm.
So in the field as a hunter doing this, don't really think about taking any meat or trying to take any material off that cape.
Yeah.
Your job is to just get it split, get it turned, and get salt on that cape as quick as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's
you
another
are
thing,
trying to
mate,
get some of the bigger chunks of meat off, right? Like where
yeah,
possible.
yeah, steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely steaks. Hey, but most of them big steaks and stuff are left around like the neck and the shoulders and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I have some horrendous ones. I had one only a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know how many kilos of steaks I took off that thing, but I wouldn't be lying if I said it was over 6 or 7 kilos of meat
Far out.
came off a fallow cape. It's ridiculous.
that's a third of the deer.
Yeah, our mate was just too scared about cutting the cape, so I don't know what he was doing. I think he followed the rib cage to cape it, you know.
Yeah, got you.
But
Yeah.
anyway, leave that for your taxidermist to do if you don't know how to do it. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
hilarious. And then with the nose, what's the major point? Same concept. You're just trying to get obviously into the hair follicles as much as possible here.
Yeah, so that nose pad, like the nose pad's got like little fine hairs on it. And then the outside layer of that nose pad, like the epidermis, you want to kind of keep that on there. It will slip exactly like hair if you don't get salt on it, and the
Yeah.
actual soft part of the nose pad will fall off.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
what I'm doing here is just splitting the center cartilage and taking that center cartilage out. So
Yeah.
the two nostrils are joined pretty close together with a piece of cartilage. And once you remove that center cartilage, the nostrils just fall open instantly like that. They just separate straight away. Again, if that's all you can do is take that center piece of cartilage out, that's kind of enough, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
just at that stage there. But if you wanted to take it a little bit further, then yeah, just really slowly around each nostril and go in underneath the nostril cartilage just to open it up a little bit more.
Yep.
But realistically, if you can just take that center cartilage out to separate those two nostrils, that's enough. Get a bit of salt around it, then pile it in salt and should be good. In my workshop, if I'm sitting down cleaning capes, there's those two big muscles that come off the side of each nostril that run back along the side of the face.
The face there, yeah.
I take those red muscles off in my workshop.
Yep.
But if I was in the bush on a backpack hunt or something, to be honest, man, I'd probably leave them on there, because it is only meat and the salt will draw moisture through it.
Yep.
But in my workshop, like that cut that I'm doing there is
right
just to
there.
separate that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I'll take that off. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so like that chunk of meat, that's probably one of the biggest chunks you're going to leave on the face if you're leaving it out in the bush, right? That's what, a couple of mil thick essentially. Are you just making sure that you're applying extra salt to that then in that circumstance if you're leaving that on?
Yeah. Yeah, I apply extra salt to all of the face, Like
just anyway, you're just
the
covering
face,
it.
Yeah, salt's cheap, dude.
Salt of course.
So cheap. Like, don't skimp on salt, man.
I just meant more so like if you've got, let's say for instance, you've got a thick layer over everything, are you making sure you've got more on top of the meat if you're leaving parts like that on there?
Yeah.
To make sure it dries out even more. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely load it up for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not prepared or you can't take those heavy pieces of meat off, definitely load them up with more salt. The more the better. Yeah. Yeah. Just cover them in salt,
And then next up, I think like once you've essentially got some of that, you remove the cartilage at least of the nose. Maybe you've done that a little bit more. Are you doing anything to the eyes? Do you have to make sure you do anything more to the eyes?
So in my workshop, I take all of the meat off around the eyes as well. So there's that heavy red meat, those same muscles like next to the nose, up around the eye, top and bottom of the eye and around the preorb gland. I take all of that off in my workshop.
Yep.
But out the bush, I won't. I won't do it. Like if I'm on the mountain and I've just caped a tar out, I'm not going to sit there and take all of that red meat off around the eyes on the mountain. I'll do it when I get out back to civilization.
Yeah.
But no, not on the mountain, man. I'll just leave it.
So in the circumstance of someone in the right, let's say for instance, they're out there for a week, they've shot it on day 3, they're just going to let the salt sit for the next 4 days or so, and then they're going to the
yep,
taxidermist on the way home. That's going to be more than
yep,
enough, right?
yep,
Yeah, cool.
absolutely. So you should only leave your first salting on for 24 hours.
Okay.
So if you want to stay in the bush with your fallow for 4 days,
Yep.
make sure you take enough salt that you can salt it twice, eh?
Yeah, cool.
So the first salting's the most crucial. Even in my workshop, like I salt everything for 24 hours.
Yep.
So the first salting's going to actually draw 80% of the moisture out of that cape
Yeah,
on the
got you.
first salting.
Yeah.
So the second salting, you're only trying to get that last 20% of the moisture out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to get that last 20% out in 4 days. You might get 10% of that moisture out in 4 days, but
Yep.
it'll take like a week or 2 to get all of the moisture out of it.
So first salting to second salting, are you scraping the salt that's wet away, or are you just covering it again?
No, I just shake it off.
Okay. Yep.
Pick your cape up, unroll it if you've got it rolled up or in a tub or in a bag or something, and just shake it off.
Yeah,
shake
cool.
it off, bash it against the side of a tree or the side of a shear and shed or something.
Yep.
Just try and remove as much of that loose salt as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't scrape it off. I don't brush it off or anything. Just shaking it off is enough.
Yeah, perfect.
It is pretty beneficial to let it, if you're going to hang it a second time, salt it a second time. It is pretty beneficial after that first salting to shake it off and just let it hang for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Just chuck it over the branch of a tree or hang it over the rail of a fence or something like that and just let it drip dry. And you'll be surprised at how much moisture drips off that thing in 10 minutes.
Yeah, wow.
And then once you've let it drip dry for 10 minutes, apply your second layer of salt, roll it up, put it in a bag, like a Hessian bag or something like that. Keep it out of the sun, keep it somewhere nice and cool.
One of your meat bags, right? Like that's ideal. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. And with that second salting on, like the next day, that cape is then good for weeks. And weeks. So, yeah.
And are you so you're folding the skin on top of itself, right? When you get ready to go, essentially folding it in on top of itself, rolling it up so you've got your fur out, skin in, and then that's where you're saying like, yep, good to go for a few weeks.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you've got enough salt to salt it a second time, you're good to stay in the bush as long as you want, eh?
Yeah, amazing. I just wanted to show some of this footage of you salting just to actually show like how much you should put on, like make sure that's proper big amounts, right?
Yeah, that's in my workshop, so I go pretty heavy-handed with it, eh? But I can tell you, like in Fiordland, if you're salting a Wapiti Cape, you're not carrying that much salt in there. So
yeah, okay.
You're skimping and you're putting as least amount of salt on there as you can.
So if for instance you're at a let's say not Fiordland, at a regular camp and you're salting, how much are you planning to take for a fallow versus a red versus a rooster? Like, does it change much from deer to deer, obviously with the different size capes?
Yeah, for sure. So like a big New South Wales red stag is like 4 times the size of a fallow cape, eh? So on a standard fallow cape, I might put like 3 kilos of salt. What I've just dumped on that cape there could be like 3 kilos. Yeah, like a big New South Wales red. Yeah, you could be using 10 or 11 or 12 kilos of salt for the first salting, eh?
Yeah.
Like to salt it heavily. Yeah. But so I've got like a salt bucket that I take on all my hunts, eh? So
what, like a 20 litre drum type thing? Yeah.
So like I buy all my salt in bulk, obviously. I buy like a pallet at a time.
Yeah.
In 25 kilo bags. But when I go away on a hunting trip, I'll get a 20 litre bucket, just like a bucket from the hardware store, like a Mitre 10 bucket, something with a lid on it.
Yeah.
And fill that bucket full of salt.
And where are you buying your salt from? Like, I remember that you saying on that video, like, make sure it's not too coarse, make sure it's not too flaky. You kind of want it in between.
Yeah.
But like too fine is also an issue. So what sort of salt are you best? Like, is it a pool shop salt? What's the best type of stuff you can get?
So the salt I use is called Olsen's Flossy salt.
Yeah.
And I actually buy that through my local produce store in town here, the Elders store.
Yeah, cool.
So they get it in for me like a pallet at a time.
Yeah, far out.
And a 25 kilo bag of Olsen's salt, Flossy Fine salt, is like $18.
Far
$18.50. $1.50 or something for
Yeah.
25 kilos.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cheap, it's not funny, eh?
Uh-huh.
So that Olsen's flossy fine salt is kind of my favorite. Yeah, I just reckon it works the best. It's just got the exact right size granule of salt that is there's enough granules of salt to draw the moisture out and let the moisture flow away from the cape as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like real fine salt will work and it'll draw the moisture out real good.
Yeah.
But it'll actually glug up on the cape. It'll actually glug up and stop the fluid from draining too much.
Getting out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the real coarse stuff,
Just
like
doesn't
all salt will
seep it
work,
enough.
but
Yeah.
yeah. But like for me, that Olsen salt is like it's the pick of it. But
Yeah, cool.
when I go overseas, like if I'm going tar hunting and I want to take a few kilos of salt in the chopper up into the Alps, I'll just go into New World in New Zealand and just buy like 2 kilo bags of cooking salt.
Yeah.
Just straight off the shelf, ain't just normal cooking salt. I'll buy like 6 or 7 2 kilo bags of cooking salt while I'm doing my grocery shop.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
perfect.
that's what I'll chopper into tar can. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a lot finer, but it does the job, eh? So
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
yeah.
And playing devil's advocate, you forget to take the salt or you just didn't buy any in the first place. You're chucking it straight in the freezer if you can, like, or the car fridge, for instance, until you can get it home and either salt it or get it to the taxidermist. What's your pick there?
Yep, 100%. So if you can't get salt or you forgot your salt, everybody's got a car fridge or a car freezer nowadays. Absolutely everybody. So yeah, cape your animal out. If you don't know how to turn the lips and the ears and you don't want to have a crack at it, just cape it out off the skull, roll it up, put your cape in your car fridge, and then she's good. Like in a fridge, it's good for like, I don't know, you'd probably push like 6 days in a car fridge.
Yeah.
In the freezer, like how long do you want to keep it? 6 months, 12 months, doesn't matter, eh? So the big thing that I see in my workshop a lot, particularly with big capes, and for some reason, particularly with sandbar, is the guys that will cape a sandbar, roll it up and put it straight in their car fridge. I've lost count of how many of those capes I've had to throw out with hair slip.
Yeah, wow.
Because it's such a big cape,
and
you put it in a car fridge, and the inside retains the heat.
Yeah.
And it can take days for the cold to get through to the center. By the time the cold gets through to the center of the mass of what you've rolled up, it's too late. The bacteria is taking hold.
So you're actually best if you can leave it out overnight, like just dangling
100%.
somewhere, right? Yeah, hung over something.
100%. Yeah. So, yeah, particularly with things like sandbar, eh? Sandbar and big red stags. If you're going to put it in your car fridge, try and leave it out overnight. Like, hopefully it's not raining. Just, drape it over a branch, hang it up in camp just to drop all of that body heat, eh?
Yeah.
Because if you roll it up and put it in your car fridge with that internal body temperature, you'll get hair slip, eh?
There's actually this stag, wherever he is, this one, the one that I shot with my bow, is the first guy that I got with the bow. I caped him out, not intentionally meaning to keep the cape, but I did such a good job of it that at the end of it, I was like, I'm gonna get that done as a rug, like for sure, why not? And so, like, one of the arms is a little bit split and stuff like that, but in general, it was a pretty good job. But I remember taking it off of him and it being very hot, and I literally left it out overnight. I just left it out laying flat. And it wasn't until the next morning when I went down and looked at it, I was like, that's actually a great cape. Like, you've done a good job. Let's keep it. And it was, perfectly cool by that stage. So it was just like, I left it on the grass. I have no slippage at all. It's a great cape. Probably not the best example of what you should do. You should probably keep a bit more care for it. But just to show, like, obviously that cooling down process definitely works.
Yeah. And that's another thing that I get asked all the time is how long can you leave a cape before you have to either get salt in it or get it in your car fridge? Like, what is the time frame? There's no real answer for that because it varies. It depends on where you are in Australia.
Yeah, humidity, all the mixtures.
Yep.
Yeah,
it depends on everything. But a good thing that I tell people is just pretend it's a steak, like a raw steak that you've just pulled out of the fridge that you want to eat. So you get a steak out of the fridge and say you're camping at Glen Innes in the mountains in April for the fallow rut, right?
Yeah.
You pull a steak out of your car fridge and put it on the tray of your ute. How long would you leave that steak on the tray of your ute before you'd cook it and eat it?
Yeah.
In Glen Innes in April when the fallow rut's on, I'd probably push that steak for a day on the tray of my ute.
Yeah, I was going to say, depending on how cold it is by that stage. Yeah.
Yeah, like 24 hours. I'd probably still, I might have a sniff of it before I cook it, but I'd probably push it for 24 hours.
Depends on how hungry you
Um,
were. Yeah.
yeah, but if I'm chiddle hunting at Charters Towers in the first week of January and it's 42 degrees, and I pulled that steak out of my car fridge and put it on the tray of my ute,
Yeah.
how long would I leave that before I'd cook it and eat it? Be lucky to be an hour or two, I
Yeah,
reckon.
exactly. Yeah, I'm not
So,
sure what bacteria's coming with that.
so a cape is exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
Capes develop bacteria at the exact same speed as steak develops bacteria that's
Yeah.
going to make you crook. So, would you leave a fallow cape on the back of your tray of your ute in the shade in Glen Innes in April overnight before you want to get salt on it or in the fridge? Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd leave one overnight. Chiddle at Charters Towers in January,
Nope.
and I'm stopping what I'm doing and I'm working on that cape straight away. Eh?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah. Makes
yeah,
makes complete sense.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I get asked all the time, like, how long have I got? Well, it depends where you are. Just use a bit of common sense. If it's North Queensland and it's 40 degrees, you need to stop doing what you're doing. You need to dedicate some time to that cape, eh?
Yeah.
But if you're sandbar hunting in the Victorian high country in the middle of July and there's a foot of snow on the ground, shit, you can
You've got
probably
time.
leave that thing. You can leave
Yeah.
that thing a couple of days before you worry about getting salt on it. You know.
Is it like that was the question that I was going to essentially get to is so you've shot a deer, the shot wasn't as good as what you wanted it to, or you didn't track it as good as what you should have. You find it so many hours later, rigor mortis has happened, and it's like stiff as all buggery. Does that make your job a lot harder essentially when you come to caping it then?
Yeah, if it's got rigor mortis, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
because
and
it just doesn't bend and fold like it does when it's fresh.
yeah, of course.
And as for saving the cape, well, yeah, like the clock's already ticking, eh?
Yeah.
The clock's ticking.
That's when it
The
does have
clock's
to
ticking
start to
from the
speed up a
moment you
little
pull
bit.
the trigger. So yeah,
Yeah.
you just gotta take your chance and hope for the best a lot of the time, eh? If it's covered in blowflies in the middle of summer, then it's no good, eh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. They put their seeds everywhere pretty quickly. They bush
Yeah,
rice pretty
yeah,
quick. I was
yeah,
actually
yeah.
talking to Will, who runs Riverlea Taxidermy at the last Venture event. He said, "Mate, I had this old Italian guy rock up to my front doorstep. And he's like, 'Yeah, the goat's out here.' He comes and he opens up his back tray, and it's literally this goat that's been chopped in half and just put in this tray. He's like." Mate, what the fuck do you want me to do with that? Like, shut the door. He's like, I can't take that. Like, I don't know what you're expecting me to do, but I'm not a magician. I can't bring things back to life and can't save that. That's for sure.
I've had that as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happens. That happens. I've had whole deer brought to my house.
Yeah.
These guys don't even have a knife, so they'll bring
Fuck.
like a whole deer in the back of their vehicle, and then I'm like caping their stiff rigor mortis
Oh,
deer onto my back
God.
lawn.
Yeah.
I get a few half deers every year, like people that like will cut a deer in half and just
Enough.
bring me the front half. And I've had one boar that was brought to me, half a boar that was actually cut in half with an angle grinder.
God. That's fucking crazy. I definitely
Imagine how messy that'd be,
yeah,
like a vacuum
exactly.
grinder.
Shit just blah, everywhere. Oh mate, I've got a dickhead tax in my work where like if they're being an asshole or they want something rushed, I'm always like, you know what, yep, you can have it, but it's coming with a dickhead tax. So this is the price. I assume that would be if that was me running the taxidermy, that's when I would add the dickhead tax. It'd be like, yep, this is the labor tax for me right now.
100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a dickhead tax as well for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a good
yeah,
way to have it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, is there anything else we need to cover on the Cape side of things, you think? Or pretty good job, I'd say, or what I'd say, and I've said it plenty of times already on this already on this chat, but is go and watch the videos. Like literally sit down, put your finger on it if you need to, like up in the top corner and put it on 2x speed. You can get through it pretty quickly. I think they're 8-minute videos each, and there's maybe 6 or 7 of them there. But
Yep.
yeah, you can get through them in about 15 minutes if you just do 2x speed. Sit and watch the whole thing. It'll give you a lot more confidence. Like watching it today gave me a heck of a lot more confidence. I watched it last year and same thing. It was like, yep, I know I can do this. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this to light a little bit more for everyone else. So definitely go and watch the videos. But is there anything else that you think we need to touch on, Brian, before we talk to more hunting?
I just want to say, like, don't be scared of caping, eh? Don't be
Yeah.
scared of doing it. Like, it's not a scary thing. So have a practice. Like,
Mhm.
most of us are hunters. Most of us have access to game animals.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a trophy buck that you practice on. Go and shoot a fallow doe. Go and shoot a nanny goat. Like, it's okay to just shoot an animal to practice caping on. Like, go and shoot a feral goat and just practice caping.
Yeah.
Throw the cape out when you're finished with it. You know, you don't have to use the cape. You don't have to eat the goat. Just practice. So that's what I reckon. Just practice.
It's kind of like the first time you butchered, you weren't amazing at it, right? No, first time butchering an animal. So same concept. The more you can practice, the better it's going to be.
Yeah. And like, I'm a really approachable guy. Like, if you want to learn how to cape, you can ring me personally. You can come and see me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you how to cape. Like, there's a few guys out there that are like charging to run caping lessons and caping courses and stuff. I personally don't agree with that. I'll never charge somebody to teach me how to cape.
Mm.
If you honestly want to learn how to cape and you want me to teach you how to cape, turn up at my house with an animal. I don't have to taxidermy the animal for you. If you just want to learn, turn up with an animal and I'll show you how to cape it.
Yeah,
because I can teach you in an hour how to cape an animal. So that's why I made those videos, you know, just for education, just to educate people, to get more people out there and having a go at it.
Definitely.
So I've actually just started a YouTube channel and I've put those videos on YouTube.
Yeah, awesome.
So same deal, Brian Anderson Taxidermy on YouTube.
Yeah, perfect.
All of those videos are there. I'm probably going to add a few more to it. I think people want to see me actually caping whole animals and stuff in the bush.
Definitely, man. Like I think, and that's the same thing with the nuts and bolts of what this podcast has always been. It's the education to help someone go from not knowing anything, from literally where I started when I started the podcast, to being able to hunt and provide meat. Like, it's always the goal. And I honestly think, like, anything that you can put up video wise of you doing things, it will go bonkers. People will love it for sure.
Yeah. Like, I just want to educate people. I just want to show people how to do it. I didn't start the YouTube to try and make money or anything like that. It's purely just another platform for people to learn how to cape and do it properly, you know? So
probably why
I'm going to add to it for sure. I'm going to add to it for sure. I've got a few things in mind, Like, I've got a tar hunt coming up in a couple of months, and fingers crossed I'm going to try and shoot my life-size tar, because I really want a life-size bull.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I've shot heaps of tar over the years, but I've never shot one worthy of a life-size.
Yeah, okay.
If I get one that I'm going to life-size for myself, I'm actually going to video.
Yeah, cool.
Like how to life-size cape a tar for a life-size mount. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Might even do that with a fallow or a chital or something this year too, you know, because people are interested in that sort of shit. So
definitely. I think the other thing that actually one of the boys did in camp last year was he was like, you know what, I got a decent buck. I'm not going to actually get it mounted, but I will skin it and cape it and give it to the taxidermist that I go to anyway, because quite often people have the mishap where they don't get the skin right. They have slips, whatever it is. They haven't been able to preserve it. And so he's like, I'll just donate it to the taxidermist. He's like, A, it's good practice for me, but B, it's also a good backup skin for them if they ever need it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, all of us taxidermists want spare capes and have spare capes and sell spare capes, you know?
Yeah.
I actually buy capes, So, because I have heaps of people that rock up with a cape that's no good, or they forgot to cape their animal, or they didn't know how to cape their animal, and they just want to buy a cape, you know?
Yeah.
I like to service those clients by offering them a cape for sale. So I do buy capes from time to time, fallow capes, because I've got such good fallow hunting right here. I kind of supply myself with fallow capes.
Yeah, understandably.
But I do buy, like, I'll buy capes. I just bought a chital cape a few weeks ago off a young guy from Guyra.
Yeah,
I'll buy capes for sure. So I pay $150 for capes. Doesn't matter what species it is. I'll give you $150 for it every day of the week.
Yeah, wow.
But I am ruthless on them. So
of course.
You can turn up with a cape and try and sell it to me, but I'm going to go over it with a fine tooth comb.
And so you should,
if it doesn't meet what I'm after, you're not getting any money. So but if it's a good cape, I'll buy it for sure. Like, last year, I think I bought 6 red stag capes. So and then I can sell them as well. So
of course. Good. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're a man who's done a lot of hunting. When did hunting start for you?
So, my dad probably got me into hunting when I was really young, So I kind of grew up on a farm, and my dad was always a hunter, like, well before I was born. And he kind of introduced my brother and I to hunting when we were really young. We started with bows, started hunting with bows, and then kind of gradually progressed to slug guns and rifles and that sort of thing. So it was pretty young, man. Like, I don't know, I shot my first goat when I was like 11 or 12 or something, probably.
And is your brother still into it as well?
Or he loves it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he loves it. Probably not as keen as me, but he
Hmm.
probably works a fair bit harder at his career than what I do too. So yeah, but no, he's still right into it, eh? So, but I kind of just I got a little bit obsessed with it and kind of dedicated my life to hunting, eh? So
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
don't
you,
regret it though. It's a great
no,
lifestyle.
definitely. I mean, literally, like some of the very best memories I have of my life, like the best stories I can tell are all from the last 6 years when I got into hunting.
Yeah,
Because like the places you get to see, the things you get to see, the adventures you get to have, the people you get to go on them with, like it's this whole new aspect of life that opens up when you get to do that. And I think doing that from a young age and the amount of hunting that you've done, like the amount of places you've seen, seeing your trophy room, knowing that you've done like all over the world, essentially hunting all different locations, like you can literally sit down for a whole day and just tell stories, I'm sure.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I don't really talk about my hunting too much, particularly on like my social media and stuff,
Yeah.
because it's a very personal thing, eh? Like
Mm.
I hunt for me. I don't hunt for the Instagram likes.
Yeah.
That's why you won't really see too many photos of the stuff that I hunt on my Instagram page.
Yeah.
My Instagram is for my business. That's
Yeah,
it. It's
definitely.
just business related, Like that, I'll put a little bit of stuff on. I've been really enjoying like at the end of each year, like do a little recap of the year, and I'll put a
Yeah,
few little
cool.
clips and photos and stuff of what I've been up to on that.
Yeah.
I'll probably continue to do that, but yeah, my actual hunting career, yeah, like I've been really lucky, eh? Like I have traveled all over the world and I've shot some crazy critters and yeah, I've met some of the best people in the world, and
Hmm.
that's what I like about the hunting community so much. Is it's just full of great people, eh?
Definitely. Yeah.
Great, great people, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's that. I say it all the time. The barrier of entry, like once people realize how hard it is, it takes a certain type of person to stay in, and that's almost like
yeah,
the barrier you need to get by to say like, yeah, yeah, no, they're actually a good person. They're a hunter. They're a
you,
good person.
you've got to be a little bit sick in the head,
Yeah,
eh? Like,
exactly. A little bit sadistic. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like some of the places we go to, like, yeah, you got to be all in, eh? You got to be
Yeah.
all in to want to go there, and
100%.
the guys like me that are a little bit sick in the head kind of get off on that, eh? Like come out of the wilderness after 10 days and you're absolutely ruined,
Yeah.
and but still smiling because you've had the best time ever, like, yeah, we probably are a little bit different, eh?
Well, Steve
Yeah,
Demetriou and Benny Solaris are over in New Zealand right now for Steve's 50th, and they
yeah,
had a 22-hour delay on one of the boys' bags getting dropped off. So at
yeah,
the 22-hour mark, they grabbed the bags and they went out and they started hiking. I think it was like 7 p.m. at night and got into their destination at 1 p.m. I saw this morning, like I saw it as a post to say it today. I'm like, it's literally just like what you'd go through. You're like, yeah, whatever. That's what it's going to take. That's what we'll do.
yeah, yeah.
Hunting
You're like
through New Zealand mountains, like, yeah, fuck.
you don't sleep too much, eh? Like I actually
No.
took my eldest son to New Zealand last year for his first hunting trip in New Zealand,
Yeah.
and I had worded him up and I said, listen, you're not over here to sleep, dude, eh? We're here for a week or 7 days or something of tar hunting. Like we're here to hunt
What
and like
hunting?
push ourselves to the limit.
Yeah.
And you can sleep when we get home to Glen Innes and you can climb back into your own bed.
Yeah.
So, but he did really good, loved it, and yeah, we're going again end of April. So
I think
yeah,
that's one of the biggest things, right? Is mentally preparing yourself for what's about to come. Like if you can tell yourself the worst story and then it's a little bit better than that, then you've won. You're like, okay, cool. I had a great
yeah,
week because of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, and we were uncomfortable last year because we were like ninth period tar ballot. So
Mm,
ninth period in the tar ballots, there's a lot of snow. There's a
yeah.
lot of snow, and we're in a really high block too. So it was like an uncomfortable amount of snow. So
And just freezing, or more so the fact of like trekking through it's just so hard, or a mixture of all of the above.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of the above. But
Yeah.
like I come home from it, and I don't even have to think twice about saying it's the coldest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And like I've said, I've experienced some pretty cold nights here in Glen Innes. Eh? Like it gets cold here.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, like that particular trip last year in New Zealand was next level cold. Yeah, coldest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Like I was
Far out.
waking up multiple times through the night
Just
to
shivering.
reboil my jet boil and fill my Nalgene up. So
Far out.
I fill my Nalgene with boiling water and chuck it in the bottom of my sleeping bag as a hot water bottle.
Yeah.
And I was waking up multiple times through the night to reboil that.
Like
It
it
was
just
just so
not
cold.
freezing over, but it was just it gone to cold essentially.
The
The
water had gone to
Nalgene.
cold, and
Yeah.
my body temperature was so cold that I had to warm up again. Eh? So
God.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because we're sleeping like the tents are pitched on like 8 inches of ice
Yeah,
and
of
snow and
course.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
you're
then just
going
pushing through the shit. And, yeah, it was so
going
good.
straight back for more this year.
Yeah, second period though, dude.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah,
difference. Is that
yeah,
essentially
yeah,
7 weeks difference then?
yep,
So you're
yep,
almost
yep.
you
So
would have been in July just about last year then.
yeah, for sure. Yep,
Yeah, far out.
yep.
Yeah.
So it was last period. Yeah, ninth period was last period, and we're in a block called Poker Gully, which is like really high up in the snow and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of turned me off late period deep snow tar hunts. Eh? So
Yeah, okay. But
like I've hunted tar in snow before.
how's that
Sorry.
ballot work? How's the ballot work in regards to getting the draws and when you're actually going to go and stuff?
Yeah, so that, like there's 9 periods, and when you apply for the ballot, you get 5 choices on
Mm,
blocks and dates, and you get to pick what dates suit you,
okay.
what dates you want to be.
Yeah.
So historically, I've kind of gone period 6, period 7, just because I
Yeah.
like that time of the year, and the bulls are like full rut.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a great time to hunt bulls, eh? But last year we went real late for some reason, and yeah, kind of didn't
Won't
really
do that
do it
again.
for me, eh? No. So when we put in for the ballot this year, we went like first and second period
Hmm.
just to try and beat the snow. So because most of the permanent snow in NZ doesn't come till like June. So
No, yeah, it's usually a bit
um,
later. Although,
yeah,
if you look at Japan and what's happened there this year, I'm about to go to Japan. I go there on Tuesday. We're going for a little
yeah,
snowboarding trip for my wife's 40th. But it literally has had like record snowfall this year compared
yeah,
to previous years. So I don't know if that's anything to go off of in general, but that could be interesting in regards to what happens here in New Zealand and Australia again this year as well.
yeah. So maybe period 2 this year when I'm in tar hunting, I'm in a foot of snow again.
Yeah, potentially.
I hope
Hopefully not.
not.
Yeah, hopefully not. In regards to the tar, like I mean, this is obviously it's a species that people go across to, and I had a podcast with Monty Nixon where we talked a lot about it. He's been very successful with tar. But what is
Yeah,
kind of your approach when you're going out and hunting them? Is it essentially get to the tops, find them in their open areas, and just try to find the girls because that's where the boys are going to be?
yeah. Look, it depends on where you are, right? It depends on where you are, and it depends on the time of the year. The last few years, I've kind of just been doing the whole tar ballot, putting
Mm,
in for the tar ballot, trying to win a block, and then just going over and just hunting that block. Most of those tar ballot blocks kind of get you into the ballpark already. Like
yeah. Okay.
the landing, the landing sites are like you're kind of within reach of the tar already, so you don't have to like hike in. And a lot of those balloted landing sites are really, really hard to walk to anyway. So
Mm,
a lot of people just don't go there.
yeah. Got
You're
you.
allowed to walk into them, but most of them you can't really walk into. So yeah, by the chopper putting you into those spots, you're in the right paddock already, man. Eh?
Yeah.
So
Got you.
there's still no such thing as an easy tar. Like
No, of
you've got to
course
work
not.
for them still. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you still got to work for them, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just so much fun, and like whether you get a tar or not doesn't really matter. I just love that part of the world, eh? I
New Zealand's
absolutely love it.
beautiful.
I can't get enough of it, eh? Like I go to New Zealand hunting every year, and like the last two, I've hunted tar the last 2 years, 3 years actually, but the last two trips I haven't shot a tar, eh?
Mm.
Haven't shot one for a few years, but
Is it because you're
yeah,
waiting off for a good bull or because you just didn't even come across them?
yeah, a bit of both. Because I've shot a few tar now, I don't just want to shoot any tar. Like
Yeah, a bit more selective.
I'm kind of after like the tar. So
Mm.
I see the bulls that I want, but 9 times out of 10 they're out of reach to me, eh? So
Yeah.
yeah, like the Kiwi boys, like they can be hard out in the places that they go to chase tar. I'm probably
Mm.
not that hard out really, but I don't know. I might be just a bit more cautious, but yeah, most of the time those big tar that I'm after are out of reach to me. So
Yeah.
I just keep turning up, and then one day one of them will be in
One of them
reach,
will
and then
slip
we'll
up.
be
Yeah,
fine, eh?
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
so would you
yeah,
say New Zealand's like one of your favorite places you've hunted in the world then?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like this trip that I'm doing in a couple of months' time is going to be like my 14th hunting trip to New
Yeah,
Zealand or
wow.
something.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been there a fair bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a great destination just because it's accessible.
Yeah. It's pretty
It's
cheap, right?
safe.
As an Australian to be able to go
Yeah,
to, what, $300 for a
yeah,
flight? It's pretty crazy. Like, you can't even get to
yeah,
Perth for that much from where I live here in
yeah,
Brizzy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like I've got a little bit more because I've got to fly from like regional New South Wales to Sydney on
Yeah,
a
okay.
domestic flight, and then from Sydney over to Christchurch. So I've got a couple of flights involved. So, but even still, like my flight's like $700 and $800 or something, and I'm in New Zealand.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about New Zealand is I can leave my house here in Glen Innes and be in New Zealand in hunting country quicker than I can be in sandbar country in Victoria.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's 16 or 17 hours from my house to my sandbar camps in Victoria.
Yeah.
And I can actually leave my house in Glen Innes and be tar hunting quicker than I can be sandbar hunting. That's what I love about New Zealand, eh?
Yeah.
And a lot of the time it's cheaper too. It's cheaper to go to New Zealand and hunt. So,
yeah.
That's why
food's mostly cheaper.
there.
Like everything's cheaper over there in general. Maybe not fuel, but yeah.
Yeah, fuel can be a bit crazy, eh? No, it's just great. It's so scenic. It's so beautiful. I've fallen in love with the place, eh? I'm just going to keep going back every year. I love it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And did you hunt, was it Alaska or where have you hunted over in North America?
I went up into Canada, into the Yukon territory.
Yeah, I thought so. And so you did a Yukon moose while you were there, right?
Yeah. So it was primarily a moose hunt, but I also had a grizzly tag and a caribou tag.
Yeah.
And went over with a great mate from Inverell, Aaron Darby. And we went over and did the whole moose thing for a couple of weeks. Yeah, it was good. It was like a bucket list hunt. Yeah, bucket list hunt.
100%. So. And did you have kind of all mixes of weather while you were there, like days in your tent sort of thing, or not that bad?
Blue skies. It was blue skies every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. The weather was perfect the whole time we were there. So
and this is a guided hunt.
Yeah.
Is that the only way you can do Yukon?
I'm pretty sure, eh? I'm pretty sure. As a non-resident, I'm pretty sure you have to be with a guide.
Yeah.
So no, that was like a proper paid hunt through an outfitter in the northern Yukon, and it was awesome, eh? It was good. Yeah.
Was it like we seen many bulls, or what was it like?
No.
Just
the hardest thing about moose
so solitude, right? Like, yeah.
The hardest thing about moose hunting is finding a bull to kill.
Yeah, okay.
By far, that's the hardest thing. Once you find a bull, you're going to kill him pretty easy, but finding a bull's the hard thing. So we were there. We were there 2 weeks. My mate Aaron shot his bull on the second day.
Yeah, wow. Gives you a false sense of security, doesn't it?
I know, right? I was so pumped. I'm just like, sweet. Darby shot his bull. Now I've got 12 days to kill mine. You'll be guilty.
Yeah.
And I didn't shoot mine until the last hour of the last day.
Oh, no way. Way to freaking string it out, hey? Play on all your emotions.
After Aaron shot his bull, we went another 10 days without seeing a single moose.
Yeah, wow. That's hectic.
Not a cow, nothing. And it was a horseback hunt, so we'll cover in some country, eh?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to hunt, though. That's something that I want to do more of, is literally horseback in somewhere, hunt an area, horseback out. That'd be cool.
Yeah. No, I don't know how you'd get around that country up in the north without a horse, eh?
Just because it's just so dense, or what? Like
that, the terrain is just so hard to walk on, eh? Like that musket. Yeah, okay. Like it's just so hard underfoot, eh? Like it's like nothing else. I tell people it's like walking on a paddock full of basketballs, eh? No ball will roll out from underneath your feet.
Yeah, far out.
It's terrible shit to walk on. So horses were a godsend, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just made it so much easier.
How far are you kind of covering a day on horseback then?
Our biggest day was our first day. We actually rode 53 miles in one day.
Yeah, wow. And just a slow walk the whole time? Like you're not trotting or anything?
No, just walking, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
But we did 53 miles in one day. It was a whole day in the saddle from daylight till dark. But that was basically to get the horses from one area to another area.
Yeah.
And then once we actually started actually hunting, our average days were probably, I don't know, 10Ks a day on a horse. Yeah, okay. Not many, really.
Had you ridden many horses prior to this at all?
Yeah, we were both quite experienced horse riders. Yeah.
Okay, because it'd make a big difference if you hadn't ridden a horse and you go on and do 53 miles straight away. Jesus.
I know, right? Well, because like both Aaron and I were pretty experienced horse riders, we just thought, it's just like riding a bike. We don't need to practice, eh? So I didn't practice horse riding before I went. I just went over and just jumped on the horse, eh? That was the worst mistake I ever made. The worst mistake. Especially after that first day, man. I fell off the horse. I literally couldn't move my legs.
Yeah, wow. That's full on.
I was so sore for days. Eh?
Yeah, I bet Doms would kick in for sure.
Yeah, I wish I actually did some horse riding practice before I went. Yeah.
That's
Next
hilarious.
time, next horseback hunt I do, I'm going to practice before I go.
Yeah. And so are you
Yeah.
doing lots of calling essentially to try find moose, or are you literally just waiting till you glass them and then going from then that's when you start calling?
Yeah, so that particular hunt, we were just like riding to high vantage points and
Hmm.
glassing down into the river bottoms and the creek bottoms.
Yep.
So we didn't do a lot of calling, eh? We didn't really do a lot of calling because the moose weren't really rutting until sort of later in the trip.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but like the main problem was we just were in country where there just wasn't a lot of moose, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you ever see grizzlies or caribou while you were there?
Yeah, yep. So I saw 4 grizzlies and I don't know, probably 600 caribou,
Yeah.
maybe a
Wow.
thousand caribou.
They
We've
were,
seen a lot of caribou, eh?
were they migrating or like in all together?
No, so no. So they're resident caribou up there. So they're
Uh-huh.
resident herds of mountain caribou.
Yeah, got you.
So so they're non-migratory caribou.
Non-migratory. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So no, they were just local caribou, eh? But yeah, we've seen heaps of them and some monsters too. So Aaron shot a real nice bull. He shot like a 414-inch bull. It's like huge,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely huge. And the crazy thing is, we've seen bulls bigger than that.
No way.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was ridiculous.
Did you shoot one
And then
while you're there at all, caribou, or no?
no, I didn't. That's probably one of my regrets, eh? That I didn't shoot one, but because I'd paid for my moose hunt up front, non-refundable, I kind of said that I wanted to shoot my moose before I shot something else.
Yeah,
So
gotcha. Yeah.
hindsight, I probably should have shot a caribou when there were so many of them there, and it wouldn't have really wasted too much extra time anyway.
No.
But
Hindsight's a
anyway,
grateful thing, isn't it?
that's it, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't get a caribou, didn't get a grizz. So, but I got a moose. So that's all that
Yeah.
matters, eh?
Pretty incredible animal
Yeah,
to come back with. I mean, really,
yeah, yeah.
on this side of the world, people who have moose, like, be a dime a dozen, right?
Yeah, like that. There was a period there where they become quite fashionable for Aussies to shoot, eh? And there was heaps of Aussies going over to get a moose, but
Yeah, okay.
that's kind of slowed up a little bit in the last few years. I think the cost of it's probably
The
got something to
dollar,
do with that.
yeah,
Eh?
definitely. The exchange rate plus how much they charge for them now. Like, I don't know, you probably
Yeah,
couldn't get a moose hunt for less than 80K now, I wouldn't think, Australian, maybe
yeah,
even more.
yeah. That no, that'd be about right, eh? I think to go and do the similar to what I did, yeah, you'd want at least 70K. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy money to be outlaying, right?
like it was nowhere near that when we did it, but like it was still a pretty big outlay. But yeah,
Definitely.
they've just kind of like they've just tripled in price, eh? Because I don't know, lots of guys around the world want to shoot them, I suppose. So
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so what would you say some of your most memorable hunts have been, or some like your favorite hunts, let's say?
One of my favourite hunts is probably Seeker on the North Island of New Zealand, eh?
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, that's good fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
real good fun. They're such a
They're,
cool little
they
deer.
are a cool deer. Yeah.
Yeah, especially to hunt them in the raw and yeah, get them in that tight beech forest and they're squealing and carrying on at close range. Yeah, Seeker
Yeah.
hunt is probably one of the funnest hunts I've done, I reckon. Yeah.
Their calls are pretty unique. Like I guess what it's kind of like almost like a mixture between a Samba and a Chital or something, isn't it?
Mm, yeah, they're kind of very unique, eh? They've got their own
Yeah.
sort of call, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they respond really well to call. They're pretty easy to call in. So if
Okay.
you can hunt them in the peak raw, yeah, you're in for a lot of fun, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
were they super spotty, the ones that you were hunting, or not really?
there was a mixture of both. So I was seeker hunting with my dad, and he shot one of the real spotty ones.
Yeah.
I think they refer to them as like Manchurian bloodline or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so my dad got one that's super spotty. He's got like big white spots all over him.
It's so bizarre how like vastly different they can be. Like one will almost
Yeah,
look like the rooster will be that dark, and then others look like that, like a Chital almost, right? With the big white spots. It's crazy.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're complete. Like they might as well be a different animal, eh? So yeah, my dad shot one of them real spotty ones, and then my 8-pointer is like almost black, eh? Real
Yeah,
dark,
wow.
like more Jap style. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So they're pretty cool. They're probably like one of the funnest hunts you'll do. I recommend everybody go and have a crack at seeker hunting, eh?
Yeah. And are they only on the North Island in New
Yeah,
Zealand? I think they are. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
is it like real close quarters type hunting? Like, is it pretty thick, dense country, or is it open stuff you're in?
No, I was in like a bush block, eh? So it was like
Yeah.
super thick, super thick. And that was a few years ago after that real big snowstorm they had in the central North Island.
Mhm.
So there was heaps of deadfall on the ground when I was in there.
Yeah.
And just
Okay.
like climbing over dead shit and crawling under trees. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's super close range stuff, eh? But because there's so much deadfall and twigs on the ground, you could hear the deer.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I called my big stag in. So I shot 2 stags when I was there, but my 8-pointer actually called him in, and I shot him at 6 yards.
Jesus. Yeah.
Like he was in my
With a
lap.
gun.
Yeah,
That was with a gun
yeah,
that
yeah,
time. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. Dude,
yeah,
that's crazy. So what, you could hear
yeah.
him in the surroundings around you, so you just started calling?
No, I just blind called
Yeah. Okay.
into a gully head, just let out a big single call,
Yep.
and I just heard sticks breaking straight away below me,
Yeah. Wow.
and yeah, he just came marching straight in. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost like it's almost a disadvantage for you if you're moving around too much too, though, right? So you almost have to set up and blind call in that situation.
100%, hundred
Yeah.
percent. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like full covered up, face mask, gloves on, the whole lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
just sit there all nice and quiet and camoed up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Far out.
and then yeah, they'll come right in. Yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And probably one of the last ones we'll talk about. You've just recently, I don't know if have you finished the Australian record red that came into your shop recently? When was that? That was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So I just mounted him there a few weeks ago, and
Yeah.
I've actually just started the finishing process now. So I've got him all epoxied up, and yeah, maybe over the weekend or early next week, I'll actually paint him up and finish him. Yeah. So
Yeah. Wow.
pretty exciting, eh?
What did he end up scoring?
437 and 2/8 Douglas points.
Far out. He's just
Yeah.
got stuff everywhere. Like it literally just goes every direction. It's amazing.
But he's got them on both sides, which
Yeah,
makes him so
exactly. Makes it
special, eh?
better. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's a very special animal, and I'm very privileged to be able to work on him and mount him for Aaron that shot him. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Where was he taken? Was
yeah,
that in the New England area or was that somewhere else?
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
wow.
that's up here in the New England, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where it come from, and I don't want to know where it come from, but
No.
I do know that it come from the New England. Yeah, so it was
It's
up here somewhere. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy some of the genetics that are coming out there for the Reds in particular, like New England area. Even the Hunters still got them as well, right? That whole kind of they've obviously spread from similar genetics, just going up and down that central coast essentially of New South Wales, and they're fucking huge. Some of them, they're monsters.
yeah, man. Like we've like the New England is producing like world class red stags at the moment. I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on. It's insane. Like, well, you've seen the reds in my workshop that have been
yeah,
dropped off.
they're
Like,
crazy. Yeah.
there's not many small ones in them, eh?
What's surprising to me is actually just the deer number in general. Like, obviously, there's no way of counting, but every time I go to New England, the fallow numbers in particular, like they're wild, they're crazy. It's amazing to see how many deer there are, but you also know that it's problematic to some degree, right? At some point, there's going to be the shoot that's coming, the helicopter shoots are going to keep going, or something like that that's going to come as well with it. But for right now, like start of 2026, when I got to go hunt fallow, they were everywhere.
Oh, dude, you should have seen it before. They did helicopter culls, eh?
Yeah, far out.
There was heaps more deer here, eh?
When's
But
this? Like a few years ago?
yeah, like pre 2020,
Yeah,
like
okay.
yeah, like 2016, 2017 was probably the peak of the fallow numbers here in Glen Innes.
Yeah, wow.
And then they brought in helicopter culling, government
Yeah.
helicopter culling, and then the drought, the 2019, 2020 drought had a huge effect on them. That killed a lot of deer here, eh?
Yeah,
Killed a
okay.
lot of deer. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the deer that survived the drought pushed down out of the mountains onto the farms, and then the farmers are struggling to feed their stock,
of
so then
course.
they started culling them, and
Yeah.
yeah, she's just all been downhill. Like there's still plenty of deer here to hunt, but back in the day, it used to be insane, eh?
See, I feel like my inception was pretty much 2019. I started hunting. I reckon I probably saw my first fallow deer in 2019, 2020, something like that. So it's like coming, I've only seen the growth. I haven't seen the other side of, yeah, what it was before. I remember we went and hunted in Ville and we camped in town at Emmaville and we rolled up our swags at, I don't know, 3 o'clock or something in the morning to drive out to the block. And as we're driving out, there was fallow deer all through town. I was like, what is this? Like, this is a luxury land.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty good, eh? We're pretty spoiled, but it used to be better, hey? Like used to
Yeah,
be
it's
heaps
wild to
better. Like
think. Yeah.
I would say the peak of it was like mid 2000s, like 2005 to 2007, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I could go out to any like some of my hunting blocks and see like 400 or 500 fallow for a morning.
Yeah. Far out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy, eh?
Yeah, it
But
is. Makes the ruts
but
hard though.
now does too many deer, eh? Too
Yeah.
many deer. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's probably a better thing that the numbers are a lot less now. Like it's better for everybody. It's better for the farmers. It's better for
Oh,
the deer.
definitely. Yeah.
parts of Glen Innes were crazy with the sex ratio, like 20-1 sex ratio and stuff.
It's
Like we
just
shouldn't have
wild.
that.
No,
We
exactly.
shouldn't have that,
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's got to do their part, shoot some does, I reckon,
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. I think it like really, if you look at Fiordland, so I interviewed Roy Sloan, I think it is, the guy who's
Yeah, Roy Sloan.
he's the
Yeah.
Wapiti Foundation guy, and he was like, we keep it at 1.1 to 1. Like you want just a
Yeah.
little bit more female than male, and that's where you want to keep
Yeah.
it. And he's like, if you want to have a good rut, like keep doing that. If you want to have good herds, good numbers, good genetics, like yeah, that's really a great number to keep it at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like 20-1's no good. It's
No.
good for nothing. You're not going to shoot trophy bucks. Like if your fallow herd, you've got one buck for 20 does, you're not going to shoot big bucks. So
Mm,
the best thing that we can all do is shoot some more does, Keep the numbers down. The closer we can get to that 1-1 or even 2-1 sex ratio,
makes a
the
huge
better the
difference.
quality of the boys. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And at the
Yeah.
same time, like great eaters, right? Just yeah, go
Yeah.
out, get yourself some meat. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
We live on it,
oh, yeah, same. I mean, venison and goat in general, but I also think, like, especially from the bow side of things, shooting a doe is almost harder than shooting a buck, like depending on the time of year. But they're so
Yeah.
bloody witty, they're
100%.
so onto it, and so when you
Yeah.
shoot a doe, it's almost like yeah, you've achieved something more than shooting a buck to some degree.
Yeah, totally. 100% agree. You try and bow shoot a doe in the blackthorn in the steep sides of Glen Innes here, you got your
Yeah.
work cut out for you,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
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 I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
that there's been a few cries for the army to go and help shoot pig numbers. They're like worried about pig numbers in certain parts. I don't know where it is. I think it's in parts of Queensland where they're literally like troves of pigs just fucking running through like in the hundreds and thousands sort of thing. And they're like, we
Yeah.
need the army to come out. Like they need, no, surely they need shooting practice and they can come do it here because we've got too many of them.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
even a stint where they were giving hunters, I can't remember. I think it was $50 or $20 a snout, and there was guys that were going out and shooting, yeah, 400-500 a night straight away. And you're like, that's a pretty good little payday. Like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
think there should be more incentive like that. Unfortunately, there never will be. Like the
No,
government's
no,
not going to put anything towards that.
not the way we're going. We're going to have no guns and weapons left by the time we're
Exactly.
finished,
And
Yeah.
government with fat pockets and us all being
Yeah.
peasants. Yeah.
That's dead right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need
Might be
overtime.
time to move. Might be time to move to the Yukon or New Zealand or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's where I literally have been having this conversation with Stace. I'm like, where can we move where I can still bow hunt? Like that's the thing that's important to me in life at the moment. Like obviously that we're together as a family unit, but where can we still enjoy the outdoors? Where can I bow hunt? Where can I go spearfishing? I'm like, maybe Hawaii. Like that'd be a pretty cool island to live on. You could do both in
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
day. I think New
Yeah.
Zealand's pretty close to us in the sense of what governments are doing and going down the gun route and whatever else. I don't know. They're definitely a lot more accepting of it than what we are, but yeah,
Yeah. They've still got their own political problems over there,
they do.
Yeah.
I think they're everywhere. Unfortunately, give anyone power and
Yeah.
they're going to show you how they want to run something.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Goes to the head.
But yeah, for the meantime, man, I just reckon we just got to keep getting out there and enjoying the bush and enjoy the
Oh,
lifestyle that we
100%.
live in,
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
sharing it with as many people as you can as well, because the more people are involved. Like what I did love seeing was after the gun laws came in New Zealand, they had a sevenfold, like a 700% increase in gun licenses being applied for. I'm like, good on you. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the typical Australian kickback. Like, hey, we don't want this. This is how we're going to show you that we don't want it by going and doing the thing that you say we're not allowed to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Like I know just here in Glen Innes, like so many wives and girlfriends have gone out to get their gun license,
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Like the number of firearms owners in Glen Innes is going to double.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
So that's just had the complete opposite effect that the
That
government
they wanted. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with like locking down all of the public land and everything, right? They're trying to shut off as much as they can. So I feel like the more of us that can get out and that can enjoy it, that can take a friend and get them into it. Like I think now more than ever, I got people asking me all the time, hey, how do I get into hunting? Can I come hunting with you? Can I come do this? And it's like, yeah, of course. Like if I can take you, I'll get you out there. The biggest thing for me is always time. It's like, hey, if we can fit it in, like how are you looking in October at the end of this year? Because if you can fit that in, then let's book it and let's go.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the same. I try and get so many people into hunting, and I'll take anybody hunting. Like
Yeah.
every year, I would take half a dozen new people hunting.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, it's clients, like new guys that I've just met that have come through my workshop that want to go for a hunt. I'll take anybody for a hunt.
Yeah, it's
Time's a
awesome.
bit of a problem, eh? Trying
It
to
is.
find time to do it.
Yeah.
And most guys want to come and have a hunt with me in April. So I got heaps
Yeah,
of friends in
of
April,
course,
eh?
of course you
Heaps of
do.
friends.
Anyone with a deer block has heaps of friends in April.
Yeah, but no, the more people that get into it, the better. And yeah, like I'm a very approachable guy. So like I'll happily take anybody out for a stroll in the bush, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Get
most of
them,
us are pretty
get them
much
into it.
very similar, right? Especially the biggest thing is always getting the access to start with. If you've got access and you've got the ability to be able to take people, then
Yeah.
I think most people are very happy to do so. They're wanting to show you
Yeah.
exactly how to do it the right way to make sure that it does
Yeah.
continue going on. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And especially like us more experienced guys that have been hunting like forever, it's up to us to try and like nurture a few of the younger guys too and get them going, eh? Get them on the
Yeah.
right track, and get them into the sport, get them into the outdoors, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with what you're doing with your YouTube channel, right? Like just showing the taxidermy, showing the education side of things is what's going to keep that sort of stuff alive. Like the more we can show not just the doom and gloom, but the other side of it where we actually do really appreciate the animal, where we really want to preserve every bit of meat, preserve the hide, preserve the mount and make it actually a lifelong dream that can stay on your wall. Like I think the more we
Yeah.
show that stuff, that's the stuff that's really going to continue the passion, I guess. It's going to keep it
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like most of the videos that have the most traction on my Instagram account are like the behind the scenes ones where I'm actually doing like what I call like mundane shit jobs, like
Yeah.
pouring a form or bloody, I don't know, like shaving a skin or something like that. Like people love seeing that shit, eh? Like,
Yeah. I think it's just
um,
such a different world. Like even someone like me, I've been hunting what 6 years, maybe a little bit more. And
yeah,
each step is like a new part to it. But like that's still so foreign to me, which seems bizarre
yeah,
because I've butchered so many animals. But it's like I've caped skins. I haven't done my own hide yet as such. And that's something that I do want to do my own tanning at one point. But like even
yeah,
seeing the next step, like, okay, well, caping your face and doing that side of it. And then watching the videos. I love watching the shaving videos because it's just you're like, holy hell, how do they have that much skin to shave off? Like, you don't think there's going to be
yeah,
that much there?
yeah, 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 yeah. And yeah, like people love seeing all of that stuff. And again, it comes back to education, eh? Like
Mm,
if people haven't seen it and they don't understand it, then they crave knowledge, eh?
yeah,
So, and that's what I really am trying to do with my Instagram account is just show people more of that behind the scenes sort of stuff as well, not just like pretty photos of finished deer hanging on the wall.
yeah,
Because again, like I've got no secrets, eh? And I tell everybody this all the time. Like I have no secrets. Like if you want to know any aspect of my business, you can ask me and I'll tell you 100% straight up. If you want to know how to do something, I'll tell you. If you want to know how much something costs for me to buy, I'll tell you. Like I've got
hmm
no secrets because for too long, like, and it's still the case in Australia, the taxidermy industry in Australia is this big closed shop, secret squirrel, secret men's business.
mm.
And I'm trying to break that mold. I'm probably upsetting a few people by doing that,
Oh,
but
good on you. It's the
I
only
don't
way through
care.
it, right? Yeah.
I just, it can't be a secret society anymore, eh?
No,
There's too many,
it,
too many secrets in the industry.
it won't keep it
Um,
alive, right? If we keep hiding all these secrets, if we keep hiding all the secrets to hunting, if we keep hiding all the secrets to everything, like it's how things die.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that's why I'm naturally an open and honest person anyway. So
Mm.
that's why I'm trying to be as open and honest as I can on my social media. So that's why I show all of that behind the scenes stuff, and I show how things are done, and I show how I make things,
Yeah.
and all of that. So and that's just the way I am naturally in life. Like I have heaps of guys ringing me all the time wanting to talk about taxidermy, and guys wanting to get into taxidermy and asking me this and asking me that. And most of the time they start out with, I understand it's a secret if it's a secret, so you don't have to tell me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude, there's no secrets. Like
Yeah.
ask away, ask whatever you want. I'll tell you. Like I'm currently mentoring over the phone like 3 or 4 different people right now.
Yeah. That's
Like
incredible. Yeah.
guys in Australia and New Zealand that want to get into taxidermy and want to be taxidermists. Say, like
Yeah. That's wicked.
people can ring me and chat to me about anything, and I'll tell them how to get into it because we do have a shortage of taxidermists in Australia.
Yeah.
So we need some more high quality full time taxidermists to take the pressure off us guys a bit, eh?
I mean, it's pretty crazy to think like, because how many heads did you take in for last year? What was your max, like your cap out that you did?
So it was a lot. It was too many.
Yeah.
It was too many. So I I had Oh, look, I had kind of said that I was going to take on like 70,
Uh-huh.
and it was like twice that. So,
Yeah. But even then, like, so just to put it into perspective, like, I definitely talked to probably at least 30 or 40 good hunters consistently. And I'm like, okay, well, if each of those was to take a good head in 1 year, like, and then there's that multitude of many people. Like, I don't talk to all the hunters in Australia, definitely not. Far from it. Like, it definitely it has a cap, right? And at what point does it come where every taxidermist is completely full and they're having to turn back great heads?
that's now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Well,
right
there
now.
you
That's right now.
go.
We're all full. Like all of the quality full time taxidermists
Yeah,
aren't looking for work.
yeah.
Like we're all chock a block full. Like I talk to taxidermists personally that have got like 3-4 years work in front of them.
Far out.
So I kind of decided that I don't want that. I'm not going to let myself get to that point. So
Yeah.
I think like the rest of my existence is closing my books every year for a set period. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to cap how many heads I take in.
Yeah.
I took on too many last year because I tried to keep too many people happy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take on
Not a
anywhere
fun
near
business to
that this
play.
year.
Yeah, exactly.
No, no. So, like you've been to my workshop, it's not a huge workshop. Like I don't have endless amounts of room.
Yeah.
So I can't take on 300 heads. Like
No.
I've got nowhere for them. I'd have to build onto my workshop, extend my workshop. So
Yeah, exactly. And that comes with its
there
own
is a
headaches
cap.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. So there's a cap on how many heads I can actually fit in my workshop.
Yeah.
And I kind of pushed that point last year, eh? So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that again. Like I'm still working. Like I'm working 7 days a week right now, just to try and catch up and get
Yeah.
through last year's head still. Like in an ideal world, I would have had an empty workshop right now, and I'll be sitting back going fallow hunting every day, just waiting for the heads to roll in.
To
But
come in. Yeah.
nah, man, seven
But
days a week.
that's
I'm
literally the
still
story of
working.
all the taxidermists I talk to that are willing to share. They all say the same thing. Yeah, I'm working every day, like long hours. It's just
Yeah,
because it's just so full. And same concept, like took on too much. And it's one of those things. It's like if you let certain boundaries slip, other things are going to slip in place. And it's now the
yeah,
learning lesson, right? And like, okay, well now I have to dial back
yeah,
because I let that
yeah,
boundary slip, so I need to pull it back to be more in alignment with what I want. And yeah,
yeah,
that's just
yeah,
the give
yeah.
or take attitude is what happens, right? It's just life.
Yeah. And like I kind of like I didn't mean for this to happen, Matty. Eh?
No,
Like
of course not. Oh, lost him. Sorry, a few little technical difficulties. You were saying at that point, when you cut off, you just said, I didn't mean for this to happen. And then it cut. It was like the perfect phrase to stop to keep us on an edge.
yeah, yeah. Like yeah. So I was doing like part-time taxidermy while I was working another career as well, just servicing like all of the local boys that wanted deer heads mounted.
Yeah.
So I was just like mounting few fallow heads on weekends whilst also working a career.
Hmm.
And it kind of got to a point where I was having to go to the boss of that place where I was working and say, hey, can I have another day off work because I need to do some deer heads. So then it got to a point where I was only at that workplace 2 days a week, and the rest of the time I was here mounting deer heads.
Yeah, far out.
And then I had to quit that job and just become a full time taxidermist. So
Yeah.
I've been full time for like 2.5 years now, part time commercial taxidermist for going on 8 or 9 years, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah, and it doesn't look like slowing up. So yeah,
No.
like you were saying, like all of the full time boys and girls in Australia, yeah, have all got more work than they know what to do with, eh? So
Mm.
yeah, we definitely need more taxidermists, more quality taxidermists. Yeah.
How long did it take you before you were actually able to start charging for it? Like when you got into it as a learning the skill and then actually charging for it, what was that kind of learning curve for you?
A long time, a long time. Because to start with, dude, I was shit.
Yeah.
Start with, I was rubbish. Like a lot of people get into taxidermy and think they're going to be doing like competition pieces in the first year. Nah, man, it takes years,
Yeah.
years and years. So I started taxidermy, yeah, like when I was 17 by myself,
Yeah.
self-taught, and I did it for like 3 or 4 years by myself, and every single piece that I did in those years was absolute garbage, and they're pretty much all got thrown out except one or two. So
Yeah.
I still have the first fallow buck I ever mounted
I
in my
saw
trophy
that when I
room.
was there. Yep. You showed me that one.
It's rubbish, eh? It's rubbish. Like It's just so bad, but
It's
I
still
love
not
it.
as
I keep
bad
it.
as like some of those ones you see online where it's making fun of, like, you can't even make out what animal it is anymore. Essentially, like it's a round face on
Yeah,
a cat or something like
no,
that. Yeah.
dude, this would fit right in well on that bad taxidermy page. But I've
Uh,
kept it. I've kept it to remind me how far I've come. Eh? Like I've come a
yeah.
long way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after a few years of struggling mounting heads by myself, I actually had some really good tuition by like a world class taxidermist we had here in Australia called Mick Dollinger.
Yep.
So Mick Dollinger took me under his wing and showed me the ways, and yeah, that increased the quality of my work tenfold.
Mm.
Then I kind of got out of it for few years, and then when I got back into it commercially to start charging for it, like I said, it's about 8 or 9 years ago. My main mentor was Sam Ramage from in southeast Queensland, there up at Kilcoy,
Yep.
and yeah, Sam helped me out a lot with not just little tips and tricks on taxidermy, but also like the business side of it and stuff
Mm.
as well. So
Hmm.
Sam's a great mate of mine and a great mentor. Yeah. So yeah, so I started charging just local boys, just anybody from Glen Innes that wanted a deer head mounted. I'd charge them like $200 to mount a deer head,
Yeah. Wow.
and I'd do like 60 a year,
Yeah.
and then the next year I charge like $300 for a deer head, and I do like 10 for the year,
Yeah.
and then the next year I'm doing like 20 for the year, and I'm charging $450, and I just
Far out.
progressively crept up as my skill levels got better and my deer head started to get better and better. Like the ones I was doing commercially even 5 years ago, I can't even look at them.
Isn't
Like I
that
feel
wild?
sorry
Just
for the
how far,
guys that
yeah.
I charge.
It's just, it's cool to see how far you can go in such a short time, though, right? Like 5 years is not that long, really.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But even like since I've been full time in the last 2.5 years, like I've got so much better in
I
the
can
last two and a
imagine.
half years too. So
Yeah.
I'm still nowhere near where I want to be, like because I'm a perfectionist naturally, and I
Mm.
want to be the best taxidermist in Australia,
Hmm.
and I'm putting everybody on notice that I'm coming for them, and I'm going to be the best taxidermist in Australia.
That's great. It's good. I think that's
I've just got
actually,
like I
go
don't
on.
know. There's probably half a dozen guys that are like heaps better than me that I've got to knock off the perch first. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
But I think as a standpoint, like something that probably a lot of people don't do enough of is the reflection piece, right? Like looking back on where you've come from, like what you've
yeah,
done, even in the last year and how much you've actually achieved. Like so often we're thinking about what's the next thing, what's the next hurdle, what's the next goal, what's the next achievement that I'm reaching for without ever looking
yeah,
back and saying, oh, heck, in this last year, actually, I achieved X, Y, Z, and that's pretty freaking incredible. Like, good on you for doing that. Like, I often think about talking to myself even from 7 years ago regarding business and just talking about that and thinking about like,
yeah,
hey, this is where you can get to if you just keep your head at it. Like if you just keep doing the things that you want, you want to do and you want to achieve, you're on the right
yeah,
track. Like just keep going. Like I don't know, just having that little one up from yourself from 7 years in the future would be pretty amazing, right? But I guess at the same
yeah,
time, just give it to yourself. Look back and see what you've achieved, and then keep pushing forward.
yeah. That's it, and just be open to being better, eh?
Mm, yeah,
Because like especially in the taxidermy industry, like the moment you stop and think, yeah, I've nailed it, I'm a great taxidermist, that'll do.
yeah.
That's that's not where
It's
it's
when you
at,
got to
eh?
put the
So
tools down. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
most things,
yeah,
right? It's when you
yeah,
put the tools down. It's the same
yeah,
thing with hunting. If you ever think
yeah,
you've achieved it all, yeah, time
yeah.
to get out.
Like I'm the hardest. I'm the hardest on myself with all of my mounts. Like my wife Shelley used to like ask me all of the time, like when she'd say like, "Oh, what did you mount today?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I mounted a big red stag," and she'd be like, "Are you happy with it?" And I'm like, "Nope." Like she's actually stopped asking me if I'm happy with them because I'm never happy with any of my mounts. Oh, like
Yeah,
maybe one in every 10, I go, yeah, I fucking nailed that, eh?
did a
That's
good job on
awesome.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them, like even now, like I mount them and just think, shit, I could have changed that. I could have made that better, you know. So
And it's so funny because to the blind eye, like I walk into your room, I'm like, fuck, that's incredible. Like, look at that. You've captured everything. And then, yeah, in your head, you're like, nah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, like I get heaps of good compliments. I'm sure there's people out there that hate my work too, but that's cool. I don't care. Like each to their
Definitely.
own. We've all got
Hey,
our flavors, eh? But
well, that's the thing. It just means you're doing it right, right? Like, yeah, if you're not copping some hate, then you're not doing enough in the direction you need to be. Maybe you're not speaking
yeah,
loud
yeah,
enough. Yeah,
yeah. That's right. Yeah, but yeah, mainly just got to keep working on my skills, eh? Just get them better. And because I am running a business, I'm trying to make money out of it, so it
yeah,
pays for my mortgage. So it is a business, and I do have to run it like a business. So there's parts of my business that I need to like sharpen up a little bit and other parts where I can probably back off a little bit. But yeah, I'll get there, man. Like it's
Oh,
all still
definitely,
so
dude.
new to me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
just got
mean,
to keep up.
the whole running a business thing is a whole nother aspect, right? Like you got into it because you love taxidermy, you loved art, you love the bringing a dead animal back to life essentially, and then having to learn here's what profit and loss is. Here's how
Yeah,
you can do your marketing. Here's how you can, yeah, make sure you're paying yourself correctly. Here's what you have to do with tax. Like, yeah, it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
that's right. That's right. And running a small business isn't for everybody. Hey, there's lots
No,
of people out there that can't do it.
a lot of people. Yeah.
I've been lucky. I've been lucky. Like I grew up with parents that were like business owners and stuff like that. So I've been exposed to it my whole life.
Mm.
My wife's a small business owner. She owns her own hair salon. I used to own my own carpentry business here in Glen Innes. So
Yeah.
it's not the first business I've run for myself. So I do have a little bit of experience with running a business.
Hmm.
Taxidermy business, though, is completely different to
Very
running a
different.
carpentry business. Eh?
I can imagine.
So
Yeah.
I'm just constantly trying to save money. Like, where can I pinch a few pennies from here? And
Hmm.
most of it just comes down to like buying in bulk, eh?
Yeah, of
Buy,
course.
buy products in bulk, source them from wherever you can get them the cheapest. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to mount deer heads as cheap as I can and make as much profit as I can. So,
Yeah. Well, it makes sense, right?
yeah,
When it's so much, when it's literally based on your time and what you can put into it. Like how, I don't know how long a deer
yeah,
mount takes, for instance, but let's say it's 60 hours worth of work. That's the only way you're going to save is when you can
yeah,
make things cheaper, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just get quicker, make them cheaper. So
Yeah.
it's a fine line, you know. Like I'm not a competition taxidermist, and I'm very open and honest about that. I talk to another taxidermist mate in Victoria all of the time who is a competition taxidermist who does lovely work. And I tell him all of the time, I know my place. I know my place in Australia, and my
Mhm.
place in Australia is a quality commercial taxidermist. So
Yeah.
I know where my place is, and I'm happy to stay in it. You know,
Yeah.
stay in my lane. I'm not going to try and crash and drive into another lane. You know, so
No,
I'm not a
exactly.
competition taxidermist. I don't need to put 60 hours into a piece.
Don't
So,
you don't need to burn the
yeah,
boats to
that's
get
my
there.
place, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. I just want to turn out nice deer heads at a reasonable price in a reasonable time frame. So
Yeah, it's
that's what I'm
perfect.
trying to do, dude.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it wasn't
yeah,
just you who did the hides because
yeah.
there's another guy in town. Who do you send the hides to? Who's the guy in town that you send the hide to? I talked to him online the other day. Have I lost you?
Yeah, you're just breaking up a little bit there. But you're talking about the flat skins, yeah?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so I used to tan flat skins and I used to do like European mounts and all of those other aspects. And then I quickly worked out that as a commercial taxidermist, I don't need to be doing those. I don't
Mm,
need to offer every service there is in the taxidermy industry.
yeah.
So I stopped doing flat skins for my clients and I've just stopped doing European mounts like those ones behind you, like
Yeah.
because they just take up time and I can't make enough money out of them. So one of my great mates in Glen Innes here, Stickers, he's gotten right into his deer tan. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He's good to talk to.
yeah,
We had a
I
good
just
chat online the other day.
share, share the love with him a bit. He wants to get into it and do some flat skins. So I'll send all of the flat skins to him.
Yeah, yeah, it's perfect. And I mean, so I've sent skins to a fair few
Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
taxidermists now, and
Yeah,
of
no, he's a
all,
good dude, eh? Real good dude.
yeah,
And
definitely.
he's got the passion too. He's keen for it. So
Yes. Yeah, indeed. Dude, we're overlapping. We've got a lot of lag happening. I don't know what's going on, but it might be a good place for us to kind of wrap it while the internet's playing silly buggers on us. So I don't know if you're hearing, but I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for your efforts. I think thank you for putting out so much educational pieces. Once again, go back and watch the series on either Brian's YouTube channel or watch it on his Instagram page, which will all be linked in the notes. But yeah, I think just making it seem easy is the first part to a great educational piece, but then being able to then take what you've put out into the world and then making that easy for everyone else to be able to apply it for their own deer is also really important. And I think hopefully we've been able to do that through word and what we've done here today with the podcast. And if you haven't got that, then maybe jump across to, like I said, Brian's either his YouTube channel or his Instagram page and watch that the caping video because it was, yeah, very, very powerful. But Brian, thank you, dude. I appreciate you being on and hopefully you heard all that.